Hey. When was the last time we just hung out for a couple of days in a row? Shucks, man. Actually, fam, now there's other things to talk about regarding the 49ers. The thing was, I wanted to get this completely off our chest. And what I was waiting for with the Grant Cohn and Javon Kinlaw situation, I was looking for something to be said today. And it was a little something regarding the behavior of one 49er. But, it escalated in some other different directions as well. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and spend this one more day on this matter, having fun with it, and then move on. But you know what I'm thinking, though, fam? Here's the thing. Has Javon Kinlaw's outbreak set a new precedent? Now, when you think about the relationship between players and the media, this could actually happen more often. I'll ask you more about that in a minute. Let me go over a few details. Here's the thing. The incident that took place yesterday between SI blogger reporter Grant Cohn and Niners defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw was a shock, actually. We've been watching Grant do this for how long, all right? Nobody went off like that. So I was, no one could see that one coming. Because when you come to San Francisco as a rookie or whatever, everybody tells you about Grant. So, you're forewarned, and therefore you should be able to do, since you expect it, there's no point in getting crazy, right? But Cohn is reporting that the Niners, GM John Lynch called both himself and Mrs. Kinlaw's baby boy into his office earlier today and mediated a conference between the two assailants to supposedly draw the matter to a close. Grown-ass men you were talking about here, all right? Now the question is, did we just see an event that could become a new norm between beat writers and professional players at NBA's? Major League Baseball is probably the most peaceful thing in pro sport in America. But between the NBA and the NFL, but to break out at this extreme level of expression was shocking for me. Tonight, taking your phone calls for your take on the situation between the Niners, Javon Kinlaw, and SI's illustrious reporter Grant Cohn, and the relatively mild response from the Niners front office. Let me quickly refresh you on what happened. As you know, Javon Kinlaw is not trying to hear anything from Grant Cohn. Javon went after Grant yesterday night in an angry-flavored video that Cohn released on his YouTube channel on the same evening. That is actually where Grant messed up. The heated exchange between the two stemmed from an in-person we'll call it one-on-one that occurred at 49ers OTAs during the day. Grant explained in a video that J.K. had confronted him during the Niners practice yesterday, right? And the thing was, you looked at that and you just didn't, okay. Little did we know. J.K. didn't say much, but knocked Cohn's hat off his head and called him a number of names that you won't find on Grant's birth certificate, right? So Grant also outlined all the reasons that Kinlaw could have been mad at him in the video. Now, here's where it really got hilarious because, Grant, good God, quote, "I just don't understand why he's so mad. Javon, what are you upset about? Is it the fact that I said you have an 80-year-old knee? Is it the fact that I said that you're a terrible pass rusher and you're just a two-down player? Is it the fact that I said the Niners shouldn't have drafted you and they should have taken Tristan Wirfs instead? Is it the fact that I said that you're unprofessional and immature? It escapes me which one of the hundred negative things I've said about Javon Kinlaw the last couple of years moved him to approach me in such a way." But when I first read that, I couldn't stop laughing. Hey, you know what, Grant? I really wish I could. I need to explain to you some of the things that you might not want to say to somebody and expect any love from them. Obviously, those are not things that anybody's going to think are funny. But I'll wrap this up. I'll have got more to say about that. But yes, Grant has said all of those things. He even had a video on his YouTube channel entitled "Why 49ers defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw was such a bad draft pick." Now, these are not scoring any points with Javon, and it seems if I'm Javon, you're picking on me. Only Jimmy Garoppolo allows for constant picking at him by Grant Cohn and doesn't have anything to say. So there's other players, and Eric Arm. Well, let's get into. Let me finish this up. That wasn't what PO'd JK the most, though. He said in the video conversation he had with Grant that he took issue with how Grant characterized their interaction from earlier in the day. JK's side of the story is that he walked up to Grant and got in his face, but that was it. According to JK, he said, quote, "Stop making it seem like I came at you in a cowardly way. I came at you man to man, brother. Put some respect on my name, bro. You don't know me. You don't know where I'm from, brother." Unquote. Also, while JK acknowledged that he knows Grant is just doing his job, breaking to the 49ers, he still believes that Grant takes his analysis a bit too far at times. A lot of us will agree with that, but we still know that's who Grant is and that's his job, and you learn to accept it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's right, but it is who he is. JK said to Grant, quote, "You analyzing people like they're not human," unquote. From there, things escalated. JK became increasingly agitated and sounded off on Grant, who believed Kinlaw threatened him at one point when JK said, quote, "Stop playing with me. I don't bleeping play like that. You don't bleeping know me. I'm not the one. My whole family knows what you look like," unquote. Now, despite the negative reaction to JK's rumble with Grant, his Niner teammates, Eric Armstead, immediately came to his defense. Eric sprinted over onto Twitter to bring attention to another video clip in which Grant seemed to imply that he wished Kinlaw would hit him so he could retire. That opened the floodgates right there, fam. That did it. Ooh, that just did it. George Kittle, Debo, B.A., Tabor Pepper, and even Tyreek Hill also called Grant out on social media within minutes. The 49ers have yet to comment on the situation and growing tensions, but they will need to address it somehow if tensions linger between their players and Grant. Fam, here's the thing. After thinking about it for a bit, this wasn't an isolated incident. It was one of that reached the highest level of heat so far, however. Jimmy Ward last year, J-Dub actually pointed out to Grant how his name is not highly regarded in the locker room. We all knew that. But they all handle it in a little more less tense fashion. The question tonight is, where do you want to see this matter go? Grant Cohn is a blogger and beat writer for the Niners. That being said, the case is it his job to bring the drama to the websites? Maybe he could take a lesson in tact. And his style can be entertaining for us most of the time, a lot of the time. Even I'm amused. I am. Even when he takes shots at my boy, Jimmy. I look at it as all fun and games. I went and told Grant, it's been days. What's going on with Jimmy? Because he's always giving out breaking news. But players are often disturbed by some of the musings and not in the least bit amused. Should players understand that it comes with being involved in the NFL? Or could Grant alter his approach at least a bit? There are others in the media who set pro athletes on fire. As I mentioned, Stephen A. Smith is the king. Mad Dog Russo, the legendary Jim Rome. But they also get a huge amount of respect. Grant is not in their exclusive club, not really. But would you rather see him dilute some of the criticism? Or should Grant not be overly scrutinized for what he does? If pro ball players start calling out media folks on a regular basis, would you give that a thumbs up as part of the entertainment package? Or does it detract from the game itself to the point you really don't want it? Is this the last episode you just as soon see? I mean, are you done with this? Do we need this? I've got mixed feelings about it. You know what? I'm concerned about this escalating because Javon did that. Now, Grant, I don't know if he can change his way, and I don't know if he's going to, but what if Grant decides to continue being Grant, and next week, look, man, you know what? Javon was easy on you. Don't let me get started. And then George Killer, Grant, you're not going to learn, are you? Until, we come and toilet paper your house or something. Yeah, I can see where this could get. I'm seeing where it could actually get a little ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So the 49ers haven't commented on it yet. They probably should. I'm thinking, let's not get this carried away, is what I'm thinking. NG 49ers, guys need to focus on football, not Grant drama. There it is. That's probably the thing. We had one more, I think, too. Was that a Morocco Niner? Javon said, okay, I got to be Barack likes to set me up with words, and I'll say that I'll give this. Javon said, "My fofo make show all yo kids don't grow." That's where I'm at tonight on that, fam. I just wondered, I'd love to hear your feedback on that, and what are we gonna do? What's Grant gonna do? Is he gonna? I wonder if Grant is like shell shocked. I don't know that he's cowering in the corner in fetal position, but I do know that Grant may be careful with Javon Kinlaw from here on. But do we want him to be careful, or do we want to go ahead and be Grant? Because we've learned how to handle Grant. We know who he is, and we don't really overreact. I don't know if Javon did or not, but Grant should know who he's talking to and how to act with certain people. Hey, John.
Ronbo.
John, how you doing tonight? 49ers Ultimate Report on here, fam. John, your feeling, I'm not sure how to handle this after digesting it overnight. John, what are your feelings on Grant and Javon?
Well, to be 100% honest, I personally can give excuse my language for any of the younger viewers, I can give a rat's fucking ass about Grant Cohn and Javon Kinlaw. And let me explain. Like, Grant Cohn, his job is to be basically a writer that's a troll to write and and he's been doing this with Jimmy Garoppolo all the time. Like, if you go to his thousands of videos, Jimmy Garoppolo is trash. Jimmy Garoppolo is trash. What's new with Grant Cohn? So, to be completely honest, for Javon Kinlaw, I'm going to be completely honest. Like, last year, he ended the season early, got surgery. I don't know what he's going to do this coming season. Everyone who has, spoken to him, people say he's getting better, he's working out, so hopefully he can get on the field. So that's my 100% honest, 100% how I feel. But to just give you my opinions about it, like whatever happened, we don't really know the real story. So he could be a bit exaggerated. Maybe that's why Kinlaw acted the fool. And I saw the entire clip, and I also saw other podcasters from the NFL. I've watched a bunch of podcasters. The New York Post also wrote an article about it, so it got national news. People now know who Grant Cohn is, and a lot of people are like, "Damn, who is this dude?" But at the end of the day,
success,
whatever
Grant.
happened, it really
yes.
Whatever happened on the field, it really pissed off Kinlaw.
Badly.
He found Grant Cohn. They started talking, and then and of course, Javon Kinlaw acted a bit of a fool. And I rewatched it with a podcaster who was talking about it, and it was very normal. Like, Kinlaw started, his voice was low, he was criticizing Grant. Then in the final few minutes, then he started to say F word, this, that, started cussing, and it just went out of the rails after that. So at the end of the day, it made Grant look at me, I got me a internet viral moment. And then Javon Kinlaw looked like a fool for a little bit. So that's my overall thoughts.
Well, John, do you think some of that criticism, it sounds as if you do think it is warranted. Is that the case?
Grant is going to do what he's going to do. Like, I don't think he's going to change. Like, for him, he's still going to be talking about, like, tomorrow he'll probably write an article about Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the team. And then, people are going to click on it and watch it.
Or
that's what he's going to do. Like, but at the end of the day, Javon Kinlaw, like, he can talk, he can, go after Grant, he can talk. But again, once September, starts, can he stay on the field? Now there's 17 games. Can he, do the production? And he's always going to be criticized because of DeForest Buckner. He's playing the same position that DeForest Buckner. And that's the thing why some people are defending Grant Cohn, because Grant Cohn did, put some points out there. Like, can he be better than DeForest Buckner? So that's one thing that, he's going to have over his head. But if Javon Kinlaw can, like, have a good year, do really good, then it might silence a bit of the criticism. But at the end of the day, Grant's going to be who he is. And I had some people on my channel. They were like, they're going after me. Oh man, you're taking Javon Kinlaw's side. And so, these people are ruthless. And I tried to be like, all right, I'm not going after Grant. I did my best not to be, rude to him, but they still got mad at me. So it's a funny situation. I enjoyed it. And everyone else had fun, too.
Yeah, check this out, though. A member of the chat, Jan Chosella, he said the team should have backed the players and asked SI to send another reporter if they want to cover the team. You know what? I imagined something like that actually happening. If the 49ers were going to do anything to keep these guys separated, since Grant's flavor of news rubs a lot of the players the wrong way. Although there should be a grown-up in the room with the 49ers. Don't react. But would that be one idea that might get pushed around? Because here's the thing, John. If this happens again, there is going to be action. I don't know if it's with Javon or Eric Armstead who had a confrontation. I know for a fact, just watching Kyle's body language, I don't think he appreciates Grant. Is that an idea? Would you entertain that thought for any time?
Like, one thing that I think the Niners are going to do after this situation, I think they're going to be a little bit more cautious, and I think they're going to try to keep the players and coaches, not just with Grant, but I think they're going to try to, be very, careful how that's going to go. Because if the Niners don't do nothing, like personally, if they don't do nothing, basically this might happen again. And, again, like basically like, and a lot of people have been saying, on social media, oh, he did it at his job. Well, number one, Grant Cohn was, I don't know if he was at his house. Kinlaw was at his house. This was not a work thing, so they made it out to be, he should be fired. He should be, like, cut from the team because he did it when he was working. So that was a thing that was also going on, that, oh, he can't do that. But if he was on the field, and it really escalated more because, again, we don't know if he actually, because, again, sometimes Grant exaggerates some stuff. So, and, again, I'm not trying to, bash Grant. I'm not trying to bash Kinlaw. I'm just looking at, like, realistically, at the end of the day, like, people, and I said this today a bunch of times, people who love Grant are still going to love him, and people who are going to defend Kinlaw are those that don't like Grant. So
it's going to be that way. All right. Good, great observation. John, we're going to go. I'll tell you, I'll be back Friday, and we'll talk 49ers football a little bit more. But this just stopped, put the brakes on everything. I had to check this out a little further. But thanks, fam. Talk to you later. He's 49ers Ultimate Report. Get on over to his site when you get a chance. He's right here on YouTube. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And, of course, it's Niners all day.
Night, John.
All right, Ronbo.
Oh, my God. And, of course, this is definitely Jersey Joe Mateo. Get in here, fam. JJ.
Hello? What's up, Rainbow?
I tell you, I was LMFAO when I first read this stuff, but I realized that it's probably not funny. I'm amused by the damnedest things, but this is like something that could turn into something stupid. Where are you at on this right now? And should the 49ers take in further action? I mean, Grant, we're back in high school, junior high. What am I saying? Junior high school. All right, this is John Lynch. Yeah. Javon, listen, I need you in my office here in a few minutes. Listen, I'm going to tell you before you get here, I've called Grant. I don't want you guys to sit here and hash this out. Who? Javon, listen, I need for you to calm down, all right? Listen, this is like for the betterment of the future and everything else is going to go on between us and him. You know? Can you imagine having to talk to these guys like this? JJ, what are you thinking?
No, I think Grant Cohn is just a little gnat circling an ass. That's all he is. He's just he's a piece of, he deserved every second he got. In fact, if you notice, he was on the pot when he was talking to Javon the whole time. He was in the bathroom the whole time, shitting it up.
Do you think so? I got to look at it again now.
Nah.
I didn't pay that any attention.
He's what Ja Rule would call a buddy hustler. Basically, what you're doing is you want to be this little shit, and all you do is you take shots at big names and here and there, hoping that somebody's going to respond, just like Javon did. And it might have blown up his page. I'm not going to lie. He probably has. Like the last you said.
They're talking about him in New York City.
Magazine's looking at this. Yeah, so he pretty much just helped his career. But now Javon has a little chip on his shoulder. You better start, same thing with Trey. We got you not first overall, but, your first round
picks.
It's like, dude, just like Dude said, we need you to be at least Buckner. It's like Lance needs to be at least Garoppolo.
You know, JJ, that's an excellent point you bring up, though, because Javon actually told Grant, look, if I don't play up to a certain standard, I'm paraphrasing.
All you want.
Yeah, you come at me, yeah. So he's actually put the pressure on himself now to perform. So we may be able to thank, if Javon has a Pro Bowl year by some chance, we'll be thanking Grant at the end of the season, and Grant will probably take all the kudos to, remember one thing, guys, you laughed at me when I pissed him off. Now look what I did. Look what it helped.
Always come up with some kind of excuse. It sounds like all these Jimmy haters. I'm not gonna lie. Always looking for an excuse.
Well,
I'm surprised this happened now. I mean, I'm surprised it didn't happen a while ago.
Really? Because I thought it was a little premature. The season didn't even start yet. He has said some things about Debo, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, Debo ended up blocking him.
Oh, that's right.
Debo's that's another dude I don't want to mess with either.
No, Grant goes out.
The
biggest dudes he can.
I've talked before, and I met up with him once, and that was like, oh shit. So I can't imagine Javon Kinlaw. That dude's a monster.
I mean, really is.
Squeak Grant Cohn.
Oh, and on the field.
Man, I would have loved it.
At this point, if I'm Grant, I go and acknowledge. Well, they're not allowed to talk to players, but I wave at Javon. Hey, Javon, big smile on my face. Hey, we okay? We're okay, right? Hey, Grant, you're not allowed to talk to players. I'm just saying. I mean, we're bros. I want him to, I love him.
That would have been the heights of it, not just knocking his hat off, but if he would have given him a wedgie in front of everybody. That would have been the best thing ever.
Like I said, back to high school, ninth grade. Freshman on the field. Okay, but the thing is, as I say, Grant is who he is. He's already established that personality. I don't see him altering course. I see him continuing to be Grant, continuing to take shots at people because that gets a lot of attention for him, and that works for him. And I've learned to accept it. Although, as I say, when you get a rookie in here, what if Drake Jackson just got in? What if he says the wrong thing about Drake right off the top? Or even some of the other newbies that come in. Somebody's got to tell them, hey, that's Grant, man. Don't trip. Don't trip. He does it to all of us. Is that acceptable, though?
Well, it's just like a new job, basically. You know what I'm saying? If you're a rookie in there, you don't want to do anything to mess it up. It's like a job. You don't want to do anything. But you get enough, I guess, I don't want to say he's a seasoned vet yet, but this is like Javon's third year. He's kind of got some room to say something. Well, to a point. He didn't really do anything last year.
Yeah, he's out.
I don't see flashes of Buckner. I can't lie, but
no.
Well, who knows? Maybe this year. Maybe, like you said, he put some pressure on himself.
Yeah. And if his knee's healthy, I got a feeling you're going to see a different ball player. If that knee hurt, like it sounds like it did, that can definitely influence his play.
Ronbo, this whole thing, it's all in the head. And I know this for a fact because Bosa came off of his ACL last year, right? And you remember what he had said? He had said himself, it's all in the head. Just, I really just don't think about it. And look, the guy got 15 and a half sacks this year. And he didn't get rookie. He didn't get player like
right.
return
And if
player of the
anything, he
year.
should be pissed off about that. But Bosa, I'm starting to think it's an Italian thing, right? Jimmy could give a rat's butt about what people are saying about him. He doesn't react to the least bit. Bosa gets passed over, and you know damn well he should have been considered for at least comeback player of the year. No. Bosa says, pfft.
Bosa's the most calmest dude. I'm gonna go and sack somebody. That's Bosa there.
I can't wait to see Bosa this year, though, because even though he's not saying anything, you know there's rage blowing in that and burning in that guy's chest. He's going to come out. I got a feeling he's going to have a great year, and I want to see what they do next year about voting him as far as a Pro Bowl or something like that. So we'll see. Anyway, all right. Hey, JJ, great to hear from you. Talk to you later.
Yeah. And Ronbo, you hold your guns, man. You keep that Jimmy poster up there until he's gone.
Hey, JJ, man, if there's one guy that's going to respect Jimmy Garoppolo for bringing this team out of the toilet into the limelight, it's definitely going to be Ronbo, okay? People can talk to me about that poster all they want to. It falls on deaf ears. Anyway, I'll talk to you later, okay?
I wouldn't mind if you had Kaepernick up there. But you got to have my all-time player. You got to have Steve Young up there.
He's coming up to replace
when he's
Jimmy.
Gone.
Yeah. All right.
You got to get a Steve. All right, bud.
All right, fam. Night.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Hey, Tony. Black Tony. Tony.
Hello?
Tony.
Yo.
Haven't
Yo,
heard
what's
from
up,
you.
Rumble?
Hey, you know, we're just hanging back here, man. It's having fun. Javon Kinlaw, I didn't even know he could get that kind of mad. But hey, Tony, you know what? What I like about that temper, that temper may be on display during the games. But nobody's gonna mess with Kinlaw because he's too big. But that he has that kind of temperament, I love it. But Tony, you know what happened between him and Grant? Do you think that Javon maybe overacted a little bit, or was he very much within his rights? Should Grant tone it down a bit? Or do you want to see some changes? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking Grant can say whatever he wants to say. I mean, it's a free country, but the only problem with that is that, it's a privilege to be in the locker room around the players and things like that. If you're gonna, there's one thing to criticize a player's play, but it's a totally different thing to attack them and antagonize them and make fun of them, 80-year-old knees, and then still be in that player's face. I mean, think about if you were on a job and you got somebody constantly antagonizing you, poking at you, and then you have to see them every day.
Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to turn the other cheek. No.
Yeah, no. You can't. No, Javon Kinlaw, another Gamecock. He's from not too far from where I'm from. So turn the other cheek. Just like the suggestion you made earlier, as far as sending another reporter, somebody who actually is going to report on what's going on, rather than Grant can have a fine career in YouTube and make all the jokes and whatever he want to do, but it's a fine. You can't do that and then try to be a professional and be around the players, be in their face.
That's
even like with when he was saying with Kittle, we should trade Kittle, get rid of him. It's like, and then you gonna be in the locker room with them, asking them questions. Nah, go do your YouTube thing. Be a YouTube star. Make your money doing YouTube, but being a Sports Illustrated writer is something completely different. You can't do both, because you're not gonna call me all kind of names and stand in front of me.
Because you're right. No other reporter does that. No other Bay or beat writer.
No. You keep it professional, right?
That.
If you in a professional set and you around professional, if you don't like the way he's playing, if you want to write about it, fine.
But you can write about it, you can criticize, but be a little more eloquent about it.
Because you gotta look when he talk. He makes fun of people. He calls Shanahan banana hand and talk about Javon Kinlaw got 80 year. You don't talk to no grown man like that. He's lucky Javon and choke him out.
Well, here's the thing. Some people are going to be fine with it, but you never know who you got to know who you're talking to it about, I guess. You don't know when to stop.
I don't think nobody's fine with it. Some people just have a little more restraint. But at the same time too, you can't tell a man how to react. I mean, it's like you can't throw a rock at me and then tell me how I should respond to you throwing a rock at me. You know what I mean? And, you know, because you just don't throw rocks. You know what I mean? I mean that. You know, because you can't tell a person how to react. These professional athletes. You know what I mean? Everybody busted behind to get where they at.
But BT, the thing is, though, he does do things outside of the box, and we need to appreciate the fact that he's not a cookie cutter reporter. The only thing I question is know where the boundaries are if you're going to put boundaries up,
right.
And your boundaries could be way out there, you know, but you know, you got a guy that you can see is sensitive to what you're saying. You might want to walk it back a little bit sometimes, I'm thinking.
Yeah, you can't attack people. I mean, at the end of the day, not in the professional. I mean, like Kittle said it best in his low tweet. It's a privilege to be there. I mean, a lot of us as fans, we would love to be in a position where we could report and be around the players and ask questions and things like that. But so it's a privilege. You know, It's not a right. You know what I mean? So you don't sit there and make fun of grown men.
So
call them all
kind
kind of names.
More.
Yeah, I mean these men. You know what I mean? I don't know many men that's in the many men fans. You in the chat gonna just sit there and let another man degrade him, talk about him like dirt.
But Tony, you know something. The fact of the matter is, if you're a ball player, this is part of the territory. And it's understood that way for the most part in all professional sport, that you're going to get a level of criticism. You're going to get it often. You're going to get praise. It's going to be a mixed bag of things.
Absolutely.
You need not overreact to either the good stuff or the bad stuff. I just. Wow.
But a lot of the people who going to talk about you like that, they're not going to be let in the building with a press pass to be able to sit there and ask you questions after them talking about you like dog crap.
Yeah,
I mean I think that's what the problem is. It's not that he's saying it. If he's a YouTuber and I mean because he's a man too, he can say whatever he wants. I think that's what the fine line is. You know what I mean? The fact that he has a press pass and able to come into that building.
And don't abuse the right by you know,
right.
Because if they're going to give it an evaluation at the end of every season, Grant, you know, some of the things that you bring to the press conferences is probably something we really don't need. Okay, if we can ask you to do this, and this, you're welcome to continue to come in, or otherwise we're going to have to reevaluate whether or not that we want to invite you to press conferences. I don't know if it depends on how if we have another escalation with a player. I don't know. We'll see. But because I have to tell you, Tony, a lot of what Grant does I do like. Some of the things he does I think are questionable, but still.
I think he a clown. I mean, so when you go to watch a clown, you go there for entertainment. So yeah, it's entertainment. I mean, you know, it's funny. I mean, I look at him as a clown. I look at him as if he was damn, I lost my train of I can't think of the word. He was
the thing is,
comedian. A comedian, yeah. A comedian
he would be considered
you go to a comedian
to laugh. But he is the outlier of the bunch, and you don't see anybody else getting the kind of attention that he does, or that same type of attention. So, you know. But anyway, Tony, I appreciate that.
And it's okay for the YouTube channel. I'm just saying, you know, don't be there
on the field.
It's a little different for both.
Yeah. So we're gonna find out what he does. I can't wait to see how he acts next week. All right, fam. Tony, I mean, appreciate you, fam.
He said. Yeah, no doubt. But he said we should trade Kittle. The 49ers about to trade him. Matter of fact, they ain't even gonna trade him because they ain't gonna trade him. They're gonna release him. He no longer be able to be in there asking questions.
Hey, Tony, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna look for you. I'm looking for you Friday. Okay. Have a great night.
All right, Ron. Well, good talking to you.
Good to hear from you again. All right.
Yeah.
let us go to hey Tony. Tony, come in.
Ronbo.
Tony, this is something that I couldn't stop laughing when I found out that John Lynch called Javon.
Well, I wasn't laughing.
The thing is, though, that it got to this point, I got to call in two grown-ass men. I got to ask them, can they please get this off their chest? Let's be done with this.
Hang on a second, Robbo. Hang on. Yeah. Hang on a second. You know my feelings about keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
All right?
True.
Okay? I don't like these little pieces of shit. It's easy to stay behind your screen and your keyboard and hang shit on people and this and call the man, oh, you've got an 80-year-old knee and 49ers shouldn't have drafted you. You shouldn't have been a first-round pick. Is that a reporter? Right. And Javon Kinlaw started off slow. All right? I said to him, bro, you know, what are you talking about? People like the animals, or you know, what you got to change this thing. You got to change your tune. He gave him a chance, Ronbo. Yeah. And then the little prick turns around and says to Javon, "Oh, you think I'm scared of you, Javon?
I haven't heard about.
You think I'm scared of you? That's an invitation for a scrap, Ronbo. All right." If you're going to say to that person, "You think I'm scared of you?" Well, what's that?
It's not going to chip off the shoulder for sure.
If you want to be a reporter and you want to be, like the other Tony said, all right, it's a privilege for them, not a right, all right? And if we don't nip that piece of shit in the bud, then you're condoning, all right, of having these untouchable keyboard warriors pushing people's buttons to the point of no return. There's no cameras in a toilet there's no cameras in a toilet in a nightclub, all right? And that's where you end up lying in the piss trough. Until somebody rings his bell, right, he won't stop. And now he went down there, okay, and Javon would have given it to him in front of John Lynch. And if I was John Lynch, I would have said, mate, for the interest of our football team, we don't want you here anymore. If you haven't got anything constructive to say, I don't want to hear it, mate. All right? These are grown men. They'll kick your ass. He'll squash Grant Cohn like a grape. And he needs to grow up. All right? I'm 53 years old and I feel like smacking the bloke in the teeth. Right? And if you want to be a professional, Ronbo, let me put it to you this way. You make the player say it himself. Why not say, instead of being a dickhead, why not say, hey, Javon, how you going, bro? Oh, good, man. How's your rehab been going? Good, man. You know, what are your expectations for yourself on the football field this year, Javon? You know, you got high expectations of yourself, you know, but...
Give him something to feel good about and talk about. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And if the player's having a bad game, all right, instead of being a little fucking smart ass, say to him, do you think you had a bad game? Do you think you had a bad game today? The player's going to tell you himself.
True.
You're supposed to coax that out of him, right? In a nice, gentlemanly way. Right? He'll say, yeah, I had a bad game. You know, what areas do you think you need to improve on? Oh, this area there. Come on, man. All right?
Yeah,
you walk down the street and walk up to some big dude and just call him an M&F, all right? Mother trucker. What do you expect him to do? Pat you on the head and say, thanks, buddy?
I'm looking forward to next week. I'm wondering, is this going to alter his style any? I don't think so. But, you know.
Yeah, it will. It will with Javon Kinlaw, because the guy, he came on today, I've seen it, and he goes, I just want to clarify everything. I went to John Lynch. He was ready to cry. Yeah. I listened to him.
I saw that.
And I listened to him, and I'm a lot better for it, and I respect John Kinlaw, and it's squashed, okay? It's finished. You piece of shit. You know, just go around saying stuff like that about players. And if it was only Javon, Ronbo, I guarantee you, if Roger Goodell was there and the whole bloody NFL players were there and Roger said, speak up, tell the truth, don't lie, no one's going to get sacked, no one's going to lose their job. Tell me what you think about this guy. 80% of the players will say he's a piece of shit. learn how to use the language. All right? Be professional. Learn how to use the language. Don't be a little. We're not in primary school anymore. This guy grabs you by the throat. He's going to squash you like a grape.
It is going to be interesting to see, though, and pretty much everybody's made clear, because, a lot of guys came in and tweeted out things, too. So now, and I wonder, now, Grant, he's seeing the feedback, and I do wonder what effect it has on him, because at the same time, Grant's got a lot of supporters as well that are egging him on. So, how does that work for the 49ers organization? I don't know, because I've got this person coming in the locker room is polarizing. There's either one extreme or the other, but there's no middle with him. I can't wait to see how this develops further.
It's very simple, Ronbo. I say to young kids that come up to me for advice, respect every single human being the same way you respect your mother, and you will never ever have a problem in society. All right?
Sound
it's that
advice?
simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
You want information, extract the information in a professional manner out of the player, all right, in a way where you're not being derogative or down talking to him. Who the hell gives you the right to be judge, jury, and executioner, all right, of somebody's career?
Yeah.
You want to ruin this guy's career?
And that's
Grant
pretty
Cohn's
much
gone down on the record in saying, I don't root for the 49ers. I couldn't give a damn about the 49ers.
Yeah,
that's motive, brother.
Yes, when he says that, he
that's
used
motive.
to be until he started working for SI. And now all of a sudden he's neutral, but he's not. So I don't know why he says that.
And have you noticed now in the background, I won't say the magazine, but he used to have the writing of that magazine in the background every time he used to do his podcast. Doesn't do it anymore. Maybe they arseholed him out of that job.
Yeah, he was up in Santa Rosa for a while. Now he's maybe
He used to have Sports Illustrated in the background all the time.
No, it's still there. He's still SI, but he seems to come off as it's just a personal thing. So maybe that's why it's confusing. But Tony, we're going to go. I'm going to be back Friday, and we'll get back to the 49er team. All right.
Shout out to Javon Kinlaw. Give it to him, brother.
Tony, have a great day. We'll talk to
See you
you
in the
later.
next chapter, brother.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. There he goes, Tony, who has strong opinions about both Grant Cohn and Kyle Shanahan. Yo, T-Flow and Allie.
And Allie.
I was about to say that, Allie, with a big exclamation point. T-Flow, Allie. Come on in, guys.
Hi.
How you doing, Allie? I'm doing great. This is the kind of thing in preseason is kind of fun. If we were in the throes of the season, week 6 or 7, I don't know if I'd be so amused. But right now, I find it hilarious. And that's the first. Grant looked so freaked out yesterday. I had to laugh at that because nobody came at him like that before. Eric Armstead's had some things to say to him and something, but nobody's ever came at him. Javon I was scared looking at him, and I wasn't even involved. Oh!
I'm just laughing at people is that they want to take away freedom of speech and all this and be a socialist country and says you have to speak nice to the 49ers or you can't come. Like, no, dude, there's supposed to be constructive criticism for everybody. And just because he throws nicks and knacks, he's a journalist. All right.
True.
He started this YouTube because of COVID, right? So he had no interaction with none of the players. So basically, he can't have a rapport with none of the players.
No, he's had the channel for a good while. He had it before COVID.
No, 2 years. No, not as much. It broke out during COVID because there was no reporting. There was no inside scoop. The only inside scoop was the ones who actually reported the players and asked questions.
He had a website.
One-on-one.
That's true.
Yeah, he had a website, but he had no YouTube. And the one that told him to get a YouTube was our beloved defensive coordinator, head coach Robert Saleh, because he says, you know what, you have good contact. You know how to talk to people. You have a personality that people will like you and hate you. But it's perfect for the contact with YouTube. That's what it is. And I don't know why no one's saying being a professional. Athletes are supposed to be the number one professional. They're supposed to have thick skin. This guy is supposed to be from the hood. Like, I'm not from the hood where basically he was from. I'm from the hood too. It gives you a thick skin. You're supposed to have a thick skin. So anybody comes foul to you, it's like, all right, you know what? Hey, I'll make you bread. You have to earn your bread. I'm already set. All right? Like, he didn't have to come up all foul like he wanted to fight him and do all this. He could have went up to him just like how, what you call it, like how everybody else, like Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward didn't like him. But look at now.
Wasn't that a contrast? So, Tifo, that's a good point.
Yeah.
The contrast between Jimmy and, both of them probably have the same feeling about Grant, but they express it different. Jimmy was very civil, very cordial, very social. He even said a bad word, but said it with a smile on his face. That's why I said,
he didn't try to fight him.
This is interesting.
He didn't try to fight him. Now, think about it. Ronbo, you play competitive sports. I play competitive sports. You want to get on the opponent's head, because once you get on the opponent's head, it's a wrap, correct?
Yep.
They're going to throwing late hits.
Yep.
They're going to throw late hits. So you don't think this is a weakness for the 49ers defense, especially if Javon Kinlaw comes, because I know if I'm an offensive player, I know how to get in his head. I'm going to curse at him. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to get him out this. And I'm pretty sure they do that now. But now they have a cheat code how to get into Javon Kinlaw's head. So that made Javon Kinlaw weak.
That could
he made him weak.
That could be a problem,
right?
Yeah.
They gave
and
him
not only for reporters,
opponent.
but his opponent.
Man, his opponent.
I could just see it now.
They gave his opponents a green light, right? Like if I was John Lynch, I would have got hot. Be like, you're a professional athlete. You get criticized every day from fans, from the 49er fans, and from the fans, from the opposing fans. You got to learn how to take this heat. Right? Because this is professionals. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play a kid's game, and if you can't handle people yelling at you, what are you doing here? Because this is football. Like, you're supposed to have a thick skin.
And I do wonder if Coach had a talk with him in that direction. See, because, but you know what? The thing is, Tifo, it started out, I'm not sure, but Javon did say, I came at you as a man, bro. He kept saying, and then you came back later and made it look like I was coming at you sideways. I'm paraphrasing. So I think that's pretty much what started the fire, according to what he said.
What would you do? What would you do? All right, I'm an athlete. All right, 6'6", 300 some pounds.
Yeah.
All right, and I walked up to you hard, right behind you, not saying anything. Basically, that's coming up to a man like, I want to fight you. Right? We all know what that means.
Yeah.
Right? And you know what? Everybody was afraid of how cool, what you call it was. Grant. Grant was cool. He could have been. He could have went into his way and got into Javon's way and try to want to fight, because that's the first thing he wanted to do. Like exactly what he said. I came up to you like a man. I bumped you and I said, "What's up?" And basically you got scared with the tone. Like what do you want a reporter to do? It's like me going to the cam. Or like Matt Mayels will be like, "What's up?" Like, I came up to you and I bumped you to your chest. It's like, what do you want them to do? Like, I'm sorry. Like, you know what? Like, I don't get how people can be mad at Grant. He's a journalist. Name me what journalist is going to be a yes man and always praise, even though Javon hasn't done nothing for 3 years, right? Everybody knew he had a bad knee problem. Right? That's what he talked about. Like, he didn't talk to him about a whole last year because he wasn't even playing last year. That's it. If anything, he was just talking to him exactly what he said. He's all, "What, are you mad because you're a first-round pick?" Remember, people got to understand, we lost DeForest Buckner for him. All right? We lost a great player, team locker player, who did everything right for a guy who's supposed to – he took his number, doesn't even, to my opinion, he hasn't have to earn the right to wear that number 99. And he hasn't been on the field. And basically, he always talks about, you know what? He always says it's not Javon's fault that the 49ers drafted him that high. But since they drafted him that high, he has to live up to that potential. That's all it is. And basically he's getting mad about that.
We're going to run out of time. But you know what? Some excellent points. Excellent points. Is America? He's free to say what he says. The
Yeah.
problem
And
is
it's like
the person you say it to also has that same freedom, so that's when it gets a little messy. Listen, tell you what. Let me.
but not
can't.
athletes. Athletes cannot do that. Athletes cannot do that.
You got that point clear.
Every other,
Tiflo, we really do have to go.
Every other like person like you and I and everybody else, they can talk.
I'm gonna survive it. All right, Tiflo, I'm gonna see you Friday. You and Al have a great night. All right. Yo, Trez, come on in, man. One half of the membership of TNT. I know Trez got plenty to say about this. Trez, come on in.
Hold up, wait a minute, Ronbo, and I do mean wait a minute.
Sprinkle.
You got that red and gold, Ronbo?
I'm throwing it everywhere. I'm throwing it everywhere.
All right, good. Put it everywhere, because we're going to need it on this one. Ronbo, for me, the whole incident between Grant and Javon, it was disturbing. Nonetheless, for me, it was.
It was shocking. It really was. I didn't see that coming. I would have never imagined in a million years.
For me, him yelling out obscenity, slinging the N-word around, talking about his private parts, it went a lot deeper than what people kind of making it out to be. For me, just for me, in my opinion, because I see a troubled young man who's in the NFL. Who obviously needs some type of counseling and put on the right path, because just like the caller just stated, if it's that easy to get in your head, what do you think your opposition is going to do to you now? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I've had people call me all kinds of names, but I ain't give a damn, because you know what? I'm going to prove to you I'm better than you. I'm going to beat you at your own game. I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk it just like you talk it. You know what I'm saying? We've seen plenty of players talk it to reporters before, Ronbo, and not have this type of reaction to it. So
or come back
just,
in a little more tactful fashion. You know what though? You bring up something, and this is not a knock on Javon, but his background would suggest that he grew up in the school of hard knocks, and maybe it never developed in his head. He may have hostility growing on inside him because he kept talking about he had kids to raise. So I think he looked at Grant with those things he was saying is trying to take away from his ability to succeed. I just my own and personal interpretation of what he might have been thinking.
Yeah, but when you say put some respect on my name, first of all, respect yourself and your own name. That's how I look at it.
And then you won't have this.
And not acting up, and you won't have to say it.
Mad
you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, when you think about it, Ronbo, anytime anybody acts before thinking, that brings out an emotional reaction. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think before you react, because that emotional reaction is something you could get you really in trouble. And you shouldn't never. I always tell people, think. And I tell my son, think before you talk, before you respond. Because you don't want to jump off with that instant reaction, because you'll say something you might regret.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Ronbo, for me, who's had the most criticism of all 49ers on that team? Trey Lance. These reporters been coming at Trey Lance left and right. I mean, this kid got up there the other day and said at the podium, it doesn't matter what you guys think. I understand you guys have a job to do, and you're paid to have a headline, a story. The only thing I care about is my teammates. That's it. Lock in. That's it right there, Ronbo.
He let him know.
You got to lock in.
Yeah.
You got to lock in. I'm focused on what's happening out there on the field, getting better every day, and supporting my teammates. That's it. This kid just came into the league, Ronbo. We got to play on the team that's been here for 3 years and talking the way he's talking, and Trey Lance and talking. I would have thought the reverse. You see what I'm saying? And some of the stuff Grant said was true. It shows immaturity. And I wish that they would take a deep look at this and get him some help. Because and I'm not siding on neither side. I just seen a troubled young man that lost it. You know what I'm saying? And
Tress,
you can't have that.
and the thing is, Tress, I remember all through school, guys that were loose cannons. But the thing is, I knew how far to go with him. Even when he was joking and playing, I knew how far to go. I understand if it's his job to do what he does, but you do need, you're on a slippery slope at all times. You know, you can criticize certain people in a certain way and you'll be fine. But, you know, I look at Javon Kinlaw, look in his eyes, look at the way he acts and what he says. You know, don't go to certain places. So, you know, I mean, I had that sixth sense as a kid because I saw guys that were kind of dangerous and they had that kind of, you know, temperament.
Yeah, but for me, Ronbo, I mean, this year alone, I'm just saying this year, Trey Lance took every blunt of criticism
he can handle
and came out smiling. Yeah. And I'm saying Jimmy too. Same thing, Jimmy too. Yeah. They've criticized Jimmy and said a bunch of negative things. And you know what? Here's the thing, Ronbo. What fan? And that's going. I'm gonna end it. Right. What fan? That's us talking now. What fan has not criticized an NFL player and called him all kinds of names? and ask that player, do he give a damn about what you think?
You know,
no,
that's the bottom line. You gotta, you know, you're in the spotlight. People are gonna come at you. Don't eat it all.
Right.
But, you know, I think
don't eat off the plate.
Trez, I really think he would have been okay, though, even though he is like he is. I think if they don't meet on the field, then this never happens. They had to have a conversation. And unfortunately, that should not be the case.
Ronbo. They didn't.
They did.
They did because, you know, he said, when he said to him, for me to even stoop to your level, I got to be the one to do it. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I know.
No, you don't. There's plenty of other players feel the same way you feel that's on that team hadn't stepped to Grant Cohn because you know what? They're like, it's not even worth the time.
Yeah, and there's that. Don't draw unnecessary attention, negative attention like that if you can. I'm hoping Javon probably learned from this experience. I'm sure John had a long talk with him afterward.
I hope John had a long talk with him.
Yeah, he had to. It's his
I
responsibility.
had to have a talk.
John cannot just let that roll. Right. So,
no,
anyway.
All right, Ronbo.
Good
we
stuff,
love you. Have a good one.
Yeah, I love you back, Phil. Good stuff, too. All right. Talk to you later. Yeah, I'm loving this. And Dan Espinoza. Hey, Kinlaw's logic behind coming at Grant is same logic behind Dave Chappelle getting attacked for jokes. Public criticism is part of the gig. JK is a week. But Dan, you forgot about what was his? Was Chris? Just a minute. Who got slapped here? That was Will Smith slapping who? Chris Rock. I still feel sorry for Chris. That was scary. It's just funny because I didn't think Chris should have made that remark, but I didn't know if he needed to be smacked on probably worldwide TV. Black Toe says he can say what he wants. Freedom of speech is allowed, but don't tell a man how to react. NFL athletes are men first. Respect her to get checked. See, there's a lot of truth to that, too. If you're going to come at somebody you don't know, there's no way to predict the outcome. Hey, Edmund.
What's up, Ronbo?
Edmund, man, we're sitting here trying to wrap ourselves around a first. I've never seen this before. I've heard, you heard about players, they may make social media exchange. There may be somebody's told somebody something else, but I've never seen any 49er get into a face-off with a writer where we could all watch. What is your take from all this? I've watched it 3 times. I ain't watching no more because it freaks me out. But what are you thinking?
A couple of things. The first thing is I want to address something that the last couple of people were talking about when you say, well, you just try to ignore the things that Grant Cohn says and all of this stuff. But you have – see, everything deserves context. And the context in this is they're famous people. So the difference between me and you, Ronbo, is when somebody bothers us in public, there's no consequence in terms of he's going to write this, millions of people are going to see it, I'm going to be on TV.
Yeah.
See, that's the context. So you can't just say, well, you should just ignore them because it's that easy. It's not that easy.
Excellent point.
Because they've been listening to Grant's nonsense for, 2-3 years? Look at the leaders of the team. Look who all said something. Kittle, Armstead, right?
Debo.
Jimmy, we know how he feels. Shanahan has shut him down several times, right? Like, because he knows what's coming. He knows Grant is that guy who's going to test him, and he's going to keep testing him, and he's going to keep testing him. So for everybody to say, oh, well, he has a right to make his opinion known because he's a journalist, he absolutely does have that right. But he also, the people he's writing about have a right, no matter what the NFL says, to come back at him because he doesn't have a limit. That's my problem with Grant. He doesn't just say, you know what, I went too far. You know what, maybe I am being too critical. And he does it with everybody. I'll give him that. At least he's consistent. It's not one player that he's just biased against. I thought he just hated Jimmy. No, he hates all the 49ers because he's not actually a fan of the team. That's one of the things that hurts us, right? And when we were 3-5, Ronbo, he was in his element. Why? Because the negativity was swirling, and that's what he thrives off of.
True that. That was definitely going on at that point. Yeah.
The guy is, I mean, he's a joke. Like and then what he said to Kinlaw, oh, I'm about to be a millionaire because you're gonna hit me. I guarantee you'll be a millionaire if Kinlaw hits you. But you know what else you'll have? A dent in your face that everybody's gonna know because he decked you. Ain't no million gonna take that out.
Edmund, that is the worst thing about this. Grant, if there was anything that should have never got printed, is that you said that. No, you a lot of people may feel that way. You walk down the street, you hope a millionaire hits you, so you can get paid if you survive whatever he did to you. But you don't want to say that publicly. No, not in your position.
His mindset, though, right? It tells you what his mindset is. Like, he doesn't care, right? He knows, as a journalist, and a lot of them, I've said for years, in all sports, journalists need criticism too. I mean, we see that they're biased sometimes. We see that when it comes to Hall of Fame voting, sometimes there's a bias there. Sometimes people should be in that aren't in, whatever the situation may be. But the problem with journalism is there's nobody calls them to task. They can just write pretty much whatever they want with zero consequence, right? Yep. So I just think he was the guy that everybody, Kinlaw's young, and I was the guy, I went on my podcast a couple years ago and I said he would be the perfect replacement for Buckner. Now, so far, that hasn't worked out, okay? But I do think that given that he's a young player, given the fact that, listen, it happens. Guys get hurt their first couple of years. The NFL is a different game than college, all right? We can talk about his knees all we want to, but the reality is it's a different game, and everybody doesn't take to the NFL quickly. Case in point, Debo. Debo played the whole first year we go to the Super Bowl. Debo missed the whole second year. Now Debo played the whole third year. Do we know if he's going to not miss time this year? I mean, the odds are he's going to miss time, right?
Yeah, because that's been the case.
It's a different game. And especially as a lineman, right? You're getting hit every play or you're hitting every play. So you're going to take more physicality. And I'm not making excuses for the guy. I'm not at all.
No, I just think the reality of it all. Yeah.
Let's wait. Okay, it's been 2 years. Let's let the guy. Let's see if he can get his legs under him. Let's see if he can come back this year and really be a force in the middle, like I think we know he has the talent to be at least. But in this case, man, Grant's always been this guy. And to be honest with you, it was a ticking time bomb, Ronbo. This was gonna happen sooner or later because he does it with all the players. That's why Kinlaw was right with what he said. He said nobody wants to deal with you, man, and he's right, bro. This can only end bad for him, Ronbo. You said you can't wait to see how it plays out. Ronbo, this will not end well for him because the players don't like him. It's not about how 49ers faithful feels about him. It's about the players, and they're coming in the locker room like, I don't want to deal with that dude. I don't want to interview with that dude. I don't want to ask him questions with that dude because his motives are different than everybody else.
Yeah, which often is the case. And you know what's so funny? Edmund, a lot of us have learned to accept that as that's who he is, and I come to expect it. So I'm never surprised by what he does and ask. But I just didn't see a player going off like that. I didn't see that coming. I thought everybody knew Grant's going to do this. You take it with a grain of salt. But no, the grain of salt has been thrown away. No, I'm going to tell him how I feel about that. And so, oh my God. So, this is different. That's why I said I can't wait to see what's next. So we'll find out.
Well, hey, Ronbo, even when we were winning playoff games, the dude was negative. Like, I can't even with this guy.
He'll get better.
He's the same guy that didn't want us to draft Trey Lance. He's the same guy. We bring that tweet up all the time, right?
That was Trace. Now Trace's favorite guy. But Edmund, we got to go though
because he hates Jimmy Moore,
right? Trey would have a good season. It's going to be right on him. Anyway, Edmund, good to hear from you again. I haven't heard from you in a long time. Great stuff. Let me see you Friday if you got time.
All right, man. I'll see you later, Ronbo.
Night, Edmund.
All right.
And Black Tone has criticism and belittling is two different things. Fans ain't in the room asking questions with access to the team. Kinlaw got new knee. He's going to be good. Black Tone, thanks for that contribution. Yeah. But I do want our guys to remain calm. There must be a way to don't go public every time. When you go ballistic like that, it's like Trez pointed out, it makes people think that you have health issues, which I don't want anybody to get put in that realm either, because when you're the only person that does that, then people start to question you. I don't think there's anything wrong with Javon, but I do know he's not the kind of guy you mess with. You can tell right away. I could tell that when he first came. Hey, yo, fly guy.
What's good? What's good?
I was looking for you last night, man. You know what I'm saying? You was out.
Yeah, I fell asleep and I went back to the show. And
you heard yourself sleep.
I remember laughing at me. I'm like, oh man,
it was hilarious because you never did that before. Yeah. Well, Fly Guy, get on into it because I understand we got a few people who want to say something. But listen. The thing is, I'm looking at with Grant with some sympathy because he's used to being who he is. And for Javon to suddenly raise up like that, I almost felt sorry for him because I saw his face when he was talking. He was actually frightened. Is it his fault? Should Grant learn to temper what he does? Or do you want him to continue to be Grant Cohn? Should the players chill out? What are you thinking?
The vibe I get from Grant, he should be banned from going to the practice, whatever. Banned from the stadium at all, because you can clearly how Javon started with eye connection. So if a player's on the field, Ronbo, and every time that player looks to the sideline, you looking at that player every time. Yeah. And then when he do something bad, and you just like shaking your head like that can piss somebody off. You know what I'm trying to say? That's how it started. And
especially if you're a little insecure, and maybe Javon is just a little insecure right now, and that just did it. Because he's worried about his future and some other things. You got to read the room. That's another thing. You got to know. Don't do that. You got to think.
Yeah, think about every time you look to the sideline and you do something bad. This man is shaking his head like, you're not gonna make it. Yeah. So that's gonna piss you off. Like, hey man, like, but he playing like, if you're a reporter, you're supposed to report about the team. Not telling this player sorry. Why did they pick him on the first round? You're not doing your job properly. It don't work like that. You report about the team. You ask questions like, "Hey, how's the knee? How's his progress?" You trying to see what's going on in the player's life, like what this is gonna look like. Like you ask this good question, not go on YouTube and say, "Oh, Javon Kinlaw is a bust. He's injury prone. He's not gonna make it." Like. You can't do that if you face to face with the player. If you see them every day, it's like a friend. I see you every day, but when I leave the stadium, I go on YouTube and talk behind your back. So that makes everybody feel crazy. Like, nah, it don't work like that. That's what I was saying. And then John Lynch is a bad management from even managing this situation. It's like telling this man, "Oh, you better come here in my office, and I'm gonna bring Grant in here, and y'all gonna apologize." I'm not gonna apologize to nobody. You should not do that, because the man is a grown man. If you feel like Grant came at him the wrong way, he entitled to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna apologize to nobody. But I believe Kinlaw was forced to apologize by force.
I wonder.
He might lose his job.
But you bring up a good point, because I don't know if apologies were exchanged in that meeting when he was in John's office. Grant says Javon talked and I listened. So that tells me Javon got everything off his chest, and Grant sat there quietly, didn't say anything. Now if you're Grant, I guess, well, I don't know what he's supposed to do. He can't say, if I offended you, Javon, my apologies. I'm just doing my job. I don't know if that would work either. You know, I don't know what you say if you're Grant.
Yeah, John, though I say John did it wrong. You would call Javon Kinlaw in the office by himself. You would ask him what happened. You'll find out what happened first. Like, what happened? Why? And then he'll tell you whatever happened. If you believe him, you believe him. If you don't, then you don't. If from there you just leave it alone, be like, okay, let's try to get away from there, whatever.
But don't I ask Grant more questions about what happened? I want to get this whole story first, and then I can make a decision. Like you said, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to allow Grant to come in during practice, or am I going to chastise or reprimand Javon? I need to know what I need to do next. Quite frankly, I don't know what you're supposed to do about this.
Grant is Mr. Irrelevant, because him being in the practice, all that is not like a privilege. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like,
no, it is a privilege, yeah. So you got to take it that way.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I mean, we can kick you out anytime, but Javon Kinlaw got to play for this team, so his thought matter most. You got to find out what happened with the player first before you go to this reporter, because and you know the reporter got a bad name, so you don't make a man apologize to another man by force. I would not apologize. I'd be like, you know what?
Well,
I'm
just
walking
saying
out of here right now.
Because Grant's going to be back next week, right? And I don't want this kind of friction when he comes in. I want Javon to stay calm and stay on your side of the field. John, there's no need for you to interact with Grant. You've already got your point across. You didn't appreciate the things he said. Now, I want you guys to keep a distance. You know what? It's bad that I got to talk to grown men like this, but this is what I'd probably do. I said, listen, can I get you to stay on your side of the field? And Grant, please, just... You know how he feels. Just let's not bother this situation any further.
And he already said, oh, if Javon Kinlaw would have hit me, I would have retired today. It's like you just causing trouble right now. You like you got to put the money. Like, it don't make no sense to me. Like,
oh, that was a bad thing to say. I don't know how that got out there. I wish he'd denied that he ever said it. That was really bad. Don't do that.
Oh, and he said, my daddy taught me that they can't do nothing to you. So just bash them. Just do whatever you want to those players. They can't do nothing to you. My daddy taught me that. If they touch you, you rich for life.
Oh man,
it's like them men got a bad attention. He should be banned from the stadium.
Well,
and
probably
take his license away.
This can only happen one more time. But Fly Guy, we got to go. I'm going to see you Friday. I'll be back then looking for more, and we'll see what's going on with the 49ers.
All
right, fam.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Night, Fly Guy. And let's go. 49er Brian here. We didn't do that one. 49er Brian, thanks for that contribution. He says, I think we all saw this coming, eventually with Grant Cohn and his antics. All right. Yeah, Brian, is Brian on the phone? Brian! Oh, this might be the law. Hey, Brian. Let's come back to Brian. And, hey, yo, Jay. Oh, my phone's okay. Oh, yeah, Jay usually comes in like this. Jay! Come on in, Jay.
What's up, man?
Yeah, I mean, we find out from Grant that there was a meeting today. I was wondering if the 49ers were going to say anything. First, I was like concerned was, are the 49ers not going to say anything about this? This is not one of those things that's just going to go away.
Yeah.
There needs to be some conversation, right? So Grant got on and he says that we were called into the office and John Lynch, he sort of facilitated our conversation, and I listened, and Javon had everything he wanted to say, and we're going to put that behind us. Hey, Jay, is that okay with you now? Are we going to be okay? Or should he change the style a little bit? Should Javon chill out? What are you thinking?
I think they're both in the wrong, to be honest with you, because
there is
to be honest, Javon looks, more bad than Grant if you really think about it. He was talking about big balls and stuff. I don't know what that had to do with respect and stuff, but he said he was talking about put respect on my name or something. I don't know, some type of Will Smith thing, but basically, Grant, he's definitely no saint as well. He definitely criticizes the players, with comedy. To be honest with you, he says these crazy, entertaining things, right? Like he's definally a different.
Even I admit he does make me laugh at times.
Right there, yes.
Yeah.
But
he's not talking about us, Jay. That's why we think it's funny. If you're one of the players he's talking about, you might not be laughing though. But you're still a player. You're not supposed to get mad.
I mean, yeah, it's criticism at the end of the day, or you could ignore it, And what's it called? A few callers back said that Trey and Javon Kinlaw had like the same pressure or some shit like that. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Trey has way more pressure than anyone in the NFL right now. Like, the 49ers invested 3 first-round picks in this guy. He has the weight of the world in his shoulders right now.
Good point there. They're talking about first-round picks. First-round pick.
But come on, he 3 first-round picks on Trey.
Here's the thing, Jay. You just replaced a Pro Bowler. You just replaced a guy that never got hurt but one day the entire 4 years he was with us. So, you're filling in some big shoes, huge shoes. So Javon Kinlaw is definitely under pressure. I don't know. You're right, though. I don't know if it's the same amount of pressure as Trey.
I mean, 3
but still.
first-round picks is way more than, a Pro Bowl,
Well,
to be honest with you.
The position, too. You're a quarterback versus a defensive lineman.
Yeah, the quarterback is, most important position in the NFL, and Javon Kinlaw should have been more professional like Trey, Trey, he said yesterday in the media that he doesn't really care what the media says about him or anything. Like, Javon should have just ignored it. He should have done that.
Or come the same way. Do it the same thing.
Well,
I don't care nothing about what's being said about me. I'm out here to play ball and prove to everybody I'm worthy of the NFL. You go that direction. He's not that type of guy, though, Jay.
I know, but, he should have had, at least a cordial conversation with Grant yesterday, because,
he said he did.
Right.
He said he did. It wasn't until later Grant said something when he says, I think when Grant tweeted, he called me, knocked my hat off and called me a suck ass, And I think if that didn't happen, and I got to tell you, Jay, I'm leaning toward maybe that didn't happen, because why would Javon Kinlaw get so mad if he really said that to him? Now, I'd get really mad if I didn't say that, but I'm not going to try to put myself in Javon's head. But I'm thinking, why am I so mad if I told him that?
Well, if he didn't say that happened or whatever, he should have tweeted that out, or he should have literally said yesterday in his live that he never did that to push the
Well, he didn't react like we would. He got enraged. He was just pissed. Oh, he goes, say this. I did not say that to him, and that's not how the conversation went. But he was out there, as Grant said, he was out there rhyming, making songs, and saying bad things about him. And I got to believe that. You can't make that stuff up. But I'm still wondering how it really escalated to that point. And it sounds a little bit like Javon was instrumental in helping that along, too. Because you're sitting out there singing nasty rhymes about the dude. It's hard to figure this one.
Yeah, I mean, Grant, he has all the players watching them basically, with his YouTube channel and stuff.
Yeah.
They watch
because they want to know if
the
he's going to say anything bad about him.
Yeah, they want to see what he says about them. But about what's it called? I think I'm gonna speak about yesterday about what's it called. Someone said that Trey wasn't practicing or anything like that, because he had his finger, like he was rehabbing
broken
some
tip,
shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was practicing. He was working his ass off. These last couple of months. He worked with our wide receivers. He personally contacted them to work in California. I'm pretty sure.
LA.
And, LA. And what's it called? He worked with John Beck, and I'm pretty sure who Tom House is, right?
Yeah.
I think he owns 3D QE School or whatever the hell. But he didn't work with him personally, but he worked with his
at the facility.
Yeah, his facility or whatever. But no, he was working his ass off. He was practicing and I'm sure refining his mechanics or whatever the fuck. But he was practicing his ass off.
I don't know why that. But and Kyle didn't help any in the press conference yesterday John,
let's be honest,
Kyle
doesn't answer nothing.
I know that's Kyle. See, we need. Kyle, you know what? We have to accept the personalities that are established as they are. We don't necessarily have to question it or like it. It is who they are. Kyle's not going to say anything good about anybody usually, unless you really do something that really makes him go crazy. And
like Trent Williams probably. Yeah.
So and then Grant's not going to. That's who he is, accept it or not. That's who Grant is. So there's players can't overreact. If you have something to say, you can come on like Jimmy, J-Dub, come in and you talk in that fashion. That's great, And it's civil and it's easy to watch. Grant gets the message. But Grant doesn't get the message, though, because Grant is still... Grant, Jay, he's still got to know... Yeah. Players on our team do have to realize Grant's going to be Grant. Don't overreact. We don't need this. I don't want players fighting with Grant during the course of the season. I really don't. At that point, even then, it's going to bother me. Guys, don't react. Don't do that.
Yeah, they shouldn't react because at the end of the day, Grant is like a troll. To be honest with you, like he just trying to get in your head or whatever. But one last thing, Ronbo. What do you think? Like people are saying, like he should be like fired or some shit like that, but. What do you think should happen to him? Like, should he get like fired or some shit?
No, you can't. There's no point in firing him. Although he's been let go from 49ers Web Zone, I think once for something he did or said. The thing is. Oh, I didn't see this right time. Just let him. Players need to relax, play ball, and remember he's part of the media. Don't overreact. But we got to go, Jay. I didn't see we're way over time here.
Jimmy's getting traded, by the way.
Yes, indeed. Before he's got to go to Hooters first.
Yeah, Hooters, by the way. Okay.
We can do the deal down there. All right, Jay. I'll see you Friday. And Nick Brown says, you can't bring a street mentality to a professional life, period. These are men. Stop treating them like boys who can't take criticism. And there's that too, Nick. He's got to be mentored by guys around the locker room to be able to. I really wish he would have reacted to that differently, as a matter of fact. Because Jack Jones says, Kinlaw is still talking trash. Ronbo, look it up. He's going to be pissed, guys. I've known those kind of guys. They got rage in them that doesn't really. The fire extinguisher won't put that fire out. Like Norm gets mad. Norm, get in here, man. What time is it?
It's time for me to get mad. You better put some respect on my name. Well, I'm about to pull over this car. Y'all better put some respect on my name. When it's not saying nothing about that.
Hey,
this is so funny, bro. Hold on. This is so funny, Ronbo.
It is.
Because I was watching it. I watched it last night when it was on Twitter.
Finish chewing your food first, at least, my brother. Swallow the rest of that food first.
Norm, Ellis feels that's impolite to talk with your mouth full.
You probably got a mouthful of somebody's name on there, but he better put some respect on it. But anyway, now
here we go. Everybody's got Javon Kinlaw disease now. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, but anyway, all I'm saying is this, right? And this is the lesson that I caught from it, though, was, this, whether you're pro-choice or anti-consequence, the one universal rule remains the same. For every action, there's a reaction.
True.
So, I mean, I kind of understood Grant Cohn. When I first heard about him, it was during the whole Jimmy G trade mess that was going on a year ago with the entanglement with John Lynch's hairline and Jimmy G's trade rumors and all that. That's when I first heard about it. But I understand it was like all the news that he brought in was like, it was like trolling to me. Like, it was like, you know how reporters, like, they try to highlight certain rumors or certain things, like clickbait type topics, to try to gain more for their platform, stuff like that. It's like to get more grab more attention toward their platform, man. Yeah. And Grant Cohn looked like Chris Rock, man, and on the sideline when Javon Kinlaw bumped him on the shoulder. I wasn't there, but I'd imagine just based on these conversations, that's what happened. And then I seen video. Because when I seen it, the Grant Cohn said, he called me a sucker ass bitch.
It took me 10 minutes to get over that because I couldn't imagine that. Really?
Then I'm on Twitter.
You needed to tweet it?
Twitter, right? You feel me? Then I'm on Twitter. Then I seen a conversation. I'm like, I've never seen a football player really just interact with these reporters like this.
Not like that. That's why I said this is the first.
Grant Cohn had the rough and ready cap on, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see anything rough or ready about his responses. So what do you think it was to me? Was it all cap? Because Javon Kinlaw, do you think I'm scared of you? That is the ultimate I'm scared of you line. And it looked like, okay, remember when Ice Cube was the substitute teacher in that movie? The teacher, that's what the and they had to go to the principal's office.
Yeah.
Principal John Lynch. And I'm glad they squashed it.
Well, I hope they did. Grant says they did.
Men. These grown men. We in our 30s,
I know,
bro. Like,
right?
I got real. I'm pushing 40, man. If I got beef with somebody, man, if it's really like that, am I really gonna take it there? Is it really that serious?
There's too many repercussions.
You press the issue, you press the line. I understand what people say. Like, if you got, I feel like, okay, people press my line all the time. And I learned to pick my battles, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about for me, is picking my battles. And somebody didn't pick their battle, and somebody should have picked their battle better. But I know that Kinlaw probably got guys in that locker room that's like, that give him the game on that. Let him soak up that and take it all in and still have a spectacular comeback season. I think comeback player of the year, that was my assumption for Javon Kinlaw coming into this season.
That's what I hope that energy does. That's what I'm talking about, fam. Use that energy
obviously got some. Yes. So obviously got a chip on the shoulder. Somebody ain't gonna. Obviously got a chip on the shoulder. But it ain't Grant Cohn that he gonna take it out on. It's gonna be on these offensive linemen that y'all got coming for.
Good. Because he left last season.
He gonna put all the offensive linemen. They gonna look like Grant Cohn's head. They gonna be like, water sucks. It really sucks.
We made jokes about that. But no, remember last year when he left, he was already upset because he missed a couple of games because his knee was hurting, and then he came back and played a lackluster game, and then they shut him down. And then he said, "I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna prove all of y'all wrong." And I believe that probably at the front of that conversation was our man Grant. And so, because most writers know when to back off. They just say so much. But Grant, he sort of like digs in there a little harder, And that's who he is. And that's fine.
A little too bold, Ronbo. It's a little way too bold. It's just like, I put it this way. Like, if I'm reporting something, I'm not trying to steal the spotlight by adding my little Tinkerbell senses in there, you know what I'm saying, trying to gain more clickbait, you feel me, to build my platform, because you never know what hairs you might raise when you do that. These are human beings. These are guys that, you don't know Javon Kinlaw, man. Do you know this man? You know this man just got big like that for nothing? Yeah.
Well, Norm, and another thing is, if I'm going to be seen out in public, it may not be Javon Kinlaw, but it may be a rabid fan that loves Kinlaw, any other player on the team. That Grant Cohn? Yeah, come, I got something I want to say to him. Now, here come this dude, right? Because you know them dudes are out there. Now you put yourself in a position.
I'm 6'5". I'm 6'5", but I'm not big like Javon Kinlaw. He's taller than me, but still, like,
wide.
As big as I am, if I was Grant Cohn's size, I wouldn't be talking like I was Javon Kinlaw's size, and I got Grant Cohn's body. I mean, it's just like
you gotta be careful. Just nobody's Matt Mayoko. Nobody wants to hurt Matt Mayoko. Jennifer Lee Chan, Ian Rappaport, none of these people.
Right.
But people might physically want to hurt Grant. And that's, man, this conversation.
Hurt his feelings. I'm going to hurt his feelings, man. No more Rough and Ready cats for you, bro. And I'm from Stockton, California, home of Rough and Ready Island. And that's all I got to say.
I've been through that. I know about Stockton.
Norm,
great to hear from you. I hadn't heard from you in such a long time. It's always awesome to hear from you, Norm. 49ers, Ultimate Report was delighted. He came in and definitely quoted you.
Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all for tapping in with me, man. I'm going to tap in a little more often. My wife having a baby. That's why I've been
congratulations.
Yeah.
All right.
On me.
All right, Norm.
All right, y'all. Peace out. Shout out to the Empire.
And Norm forgot.
Oh, that's all I got to say. I can't wait till this baby come out and say, it's Niners all day.
You better spit out. Have a good night, fam. And let's go to the man, Alice. Alice, you were here a minute ago.
Yo.
There you are. Well, Alice, I thought we'd get this all out today, and especially after I heard about what happened. They got called into the principal's office. It's funny, as long as we're not involved in this, to watch all this unfold. And I just keep wondering, as I mentioned earlier, now, are we going to see some alterations in Grant's style or anything like that? Or is he gonna go further with it? I can't wait to see what happens next. But what are your take on all this?
When Javon blew it out of proportion. You got to be more strategic. If you want to get at somebody, you can't get at them like that. You just can't do it. And you can't take the street and the gutter approach when you're a multi-million-dollar professionally paid athlete, man. And
you shouldn't.
Clearly, Javon hasn't got to a place where he's able to separate the two and have some duality about his personality, and he's just using the wrong tactics. And at the end of the day, he should have just.
Though, Ellis. Did he get into his feelings because I'm thinking he's a little insecure. Javon did not have the kind of year he wanted. People talked about him bad. He's angry behind last season, and this was just the right time for Grant to be on the field, which is not a good thing. If Grant wouldn't have been there yesterday, none of this would have came into fruition.
Fear E.
So
Yeah. Well, Grant's been talking. He's been on everybody's shit list, man, for a little bit. I mean, not everybody. I won't say everybody, but I'll say a significant amount of guys. Eric Armstead, Jimmy, Mike McGlinchey. He's got Trey Sermon. We got Javon, and he's got his guys that he likes to get on. And some of the stuff is certain things are called for, and it's a trick thing, because it's like, if you come and you ball out, then he doesn't say nothing, and he has to kiss your ass and talk about how great you're playing. But if you're playing like shit, then or you're not playing, then that's just what happens. That's what these dudes get paid for. Even as fans, it's like, man, this dude's never healthy. He never plays. We might not have the best thing to say about some of our own team, our own, players for our team that we love, And Grant's not even a Niner fan, even though I think he's a closet Niner fan. He was a Niners fan back in the 80s or 90s,
Well,
but
that's
all
what
of a sudden
I'm
he's
getting ready to
not
say.
now.
Wasn't he once upon
I think
a
he
time?
just do that to be neutral. I think he does that just to be neutral. And, he's taken, from what I hear, his dad's approach. His dad was like that. His dad would say things that people didn't really like, and he would get under, certain players and, from the Niners back in the day skin. So, his dad might have put him up to kind of just the strategy on how to do it. If you want to get clicks, if you want to get in the game quick, this is how you got to do it. Because controversy sells, drama sells, just like sex does. I'm just saying, we're just,
really.
we're being, we're keeping it real.
Yeah,
shock
you do things that
value,
are
all that
controversial.
shit.
You get more attention.
Yeah, because I hate it. I could not stand him when he first touched the scene, and he kept popping up on my YouTube feed, and that was because of his titles and what he was talking about. He had to do that to really get going, to kickstart himself. Then he started to kind of, level out a little bit, but he does still kind of keep that, that edge where he's, attacking and, doing the little thing that he does. But, that's how he makes his money. That's how he makes his living. And Javon makes his living off of, playing ball. He doesn't have to talk shit or do nothing. You just go and ball out. Just ball out and put his foot in his mouth. And that's what Grant said. He's like, I'll eat my words. And he will change up. Because at one point he was talking shit about Trey Lance, and now all he does is talk about Trey Lance. He wasn't even thinking about Trey. And then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks before the draft came, then he all of a sudden jumped on the Trey train. But the whole time prior to that, he was talking about everybody else. And never even said it. And when he did say something about Trey, he was like, he was, not even in the picture. So I'm just saying he changes his tune. He talked better about Eric Armstead. He's changed. He talks, positive about Jimmy. He's changed it up. But like I said, with Javon, I'm not condoning Grant to talk and say what he's saying. Let's be clear. My thing is his approach with it. Because let's say Javon, instead of flicking his hat, he gives them the hand of God. You know what I'm saying? Just one time, 6'5", 300 something, or 6'6", 300 something pounds, and smacks him to the grass. You know what I mean? Now he's going to take half your contract. You're going to have to pay him. You're going to be arrested. You're not going to be able to play football for this team anymore. I mean, you got way too close. He got way too close to putting it all on the line just for somebody who's doing things for shock value and who has to, unfortunately feed his family by sometimes selling the wrong kind of controversy. But it doesn't excuse the response or the reaction that Javon gave. And at the end of the day, you can look at Grant. You can say, man, I'm not even going to trip off of him. Like, I wouldn't even let anybody, if I was that big and I had that much money, I wouldn't even let anybody get under my skin like that. Because you just look at him just like he was talking all that. We heard everything he was saying to him. So if you feel this way and you see him as all of that, then why even entertain him and give him, you know what I'm saying, any kind of notoriety, give him any of your attention?
Yeah.
He's not worth it. He has no value.
Well, fam, we got to pull up. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be interesting to see in the days ahead. I can't wait till next week's press meeting. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, they hashed it out. They hashed it out. Shout out to John, the Godfather. He came through and he mended the situation. He had to do it quick because we don't need that kind of stuff going on. Yeah. And maybe Grant's going to switch up his tone a little bit. And if he does, then it might be better for the team, and he can be a little more likable. Even though I know that's not what he's going for, but it is what it is. Peace and love, brother Ronbo.
Back at you, fam.
Okay. Y'all know where you at. Wipe your feet. I mean, look, some of these guys that we got here in the chat, I would give them the Javon treatment if I seen him up close. So it's different. It's kind of hard. But I'm not getting paid millions and millions of dollars to play professional sport. So but anyway. AKA ready to blow and marketing slow over there. But shout out to the faithful, man. Y'all hit the like and subscribe, man. Peace and love to all of y'all, man. It's for life with this.
Thanks,
man. Day.
There you go. And shout out to the squad.
Yeah. Show some love, man. Show some love. Right. Yes, sir.
Night, Ellis. Hey, Brian. Okay,
the man.
There he is.
The man, the legend, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. The law says, know your role. And to Mr. Cohen, you better shut your mouth.
See, that's what I'm collecting tonight. I'm wondering what is the temperament across the Niner Empire. You know, because the thing is, Grant is a reporter. He's been doing this for a long time. He was doing this before Javon came. I've always been entertained by most of what Grant does, and a lot of what he does is questionable. You know, you can't accept. I mean, every writer, you're not going to accept everything. But I don't know. I felt bad for him because, okay, all of a sudden you're going to tell Grant he can't be Grant anymore. But then Grant, you know, you ought to know when to quit. And you know, and Javon, you're going to get criticism. So I don't know where to go with this. So that's why I'm asking everybody else. What are you thinking here?
Ronbo, first of all, what's going on with you? I know it's been a while since I've been with you.
It has been, yeah. This is waiting for preseason. Season sort of lingers through after the draft. Things sort of hit a slide. But we're coming back into it now. And what a way to start the season off. Grant and Javon out there fighting. Hilarious. This is going to be a good season. That's a good omen right there already. Heat.
Yeah. But Ronbo, here's the thing that Kinlaw needs to, Kinlaw needs to do. First of all, your message might get a little more clear if you didn't have wall-to-wall food in your mouth.
That was crazy, wasn't it? That made it look more vicious too. I felt like you ever get a dog in front of you, he wants to bite you on the other side of the fence, and the mouth is just flying open, the slime is flying out of his mouth. You know, if he can get across that fence, you are dead meat. That's what I was thinking. Looking at Javon.
Yeah, Ronbo. I thought for a minute. I thought he was going to reach through the monitor and grab and choke him and choke Cohn.
Oh God, he was mad. Ooh, God, I never seen temper expressed like that on a monitor. Whoo.
He was up to the set. I mean, but yeah, here's the thing, Ronbo. Even though sometimes people, and this is something, anytime about just football and wear, like, people might not say things about you that may be on the up and up on positive everything, but what you got to do is you cannot let words harm you. You got to remember you are a former first round pick, and that means you're an investment.
Mm-hmm.
You are an investment. You're not a fifth or sixth round or anything like that. Well, they can just cut you, but you're a first round. You know, you are the branch. You are the peak of the branch of a tree. And, there's certain things now you just keep it at words, you don't keep it at words. But you gotta be careful with the words. You gotta be careful, And trust me, if you hit him, then yeah, he's gonna get a payday. He's definitely gonna get it. So you got to be wise. You got to be smart, and listen to your words. Think about where you came. Like you said, you don't know where you come from. No, you don't. Do you remember where you came from?
Mm.
Because if you put your hands on them, chances are you might go back. There's a way you can go back.
Mm.
And you reminded us that you was almost dead. Well, okay, well then, act like you're celebrating life right now, and you got to make. You got to make good decisions.
Brian, that's the thing. He's had a hard life. He living on the street at one point in his life. I just wonder, what does that do to your psyche, your mentality? What is that, especially at a young age? You sort of like, do you have a chip on your shoulder against the world? And then a guy like Grant comes along in your life, and because he kept yelling about he's got a family to take care of and all that stuff. I think he looked at Grant as somebody who was trying to take bread off his table or something,
Well, you don't. Well, you're not looking out for your family. If you're talking about even verbally threatening, that's kind of.
My family knows what you look like and everything. I know. What does that mean, Javon? Yeah. If something happens to Grant, the first thing you're going to do is come and investigate you and your family.
Yeah. And I've been seeing it all over. You know, I've been looking on the YouTube. I guess their page or whatever, and I've been seeing about 3 or 4 sites with, you know, the clash of words between Kinlaw, Kinlaw. And
I heard you
Cohen.
talk about it all out in New York City.
Right. Yeah. So, but he got to be careful. I mean, you got to, you know, you got to pick your battles. You know, I think you can. I mean, you can just go word for words, and then you got to watch. You know, like I say, you got to watch your words. And remember, you're an investment. And what you want to do is, and I know a lot of people. You know, a lot of people depend on him. You know, in his family. You know, and
Sure.
you know, I know a lot of people depend on him. You don't want to ruin it by making an ill will decision.
But you know, the word respect means a lot more to him. He interprets that differently, and that's what he thought he was being disrespected.
Yeah.
From what I could gather from what he was saying.
Assault charge is not your friend. You get an assault charge. You know,
well, that's the truth.
That's not your friend. You'll be another first rounder with a record.
You know what? The 49ers might have to let him go if there's a criminal altercation like that. You know it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that'd be sad.
That's serious, you know. Because I know it was looking kind of redundant for a minute. You know, I was like, why he keep saying respect? You put some respect on the name. No, you put some respect on the name. Make your matter of fact, how about you make your name respectable?
It's like I said, Brian.
That? You make your name. You go out and ball. You go
he's
out.
Going to take a couple
out
of years.
Season, and you ball. Yeah. Now you making your name respectable. You don't depend on nobody putting no respect on your name. You. It's your last name.
Yeah.
You gotta you defend it. You're in charge of that. You and only you.
You know, there's not a lot of self-integrity, though. I could see from what he was saying. And as I said, from growing up the way he did, in the fashion that he did, this is a miracle that he's made it to the NFL. Yeah. So he's really there's no telling what would have happened to him if he didn't make it to the NFL, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, Ronbo, we gotta take, we gotta take one day at a time. You know, I'm like, you know, I think you're lucky. You're in a very fortunate position. You know, you're the first rounder. You're a first rounder. You're an investment. You know, they picked you. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta control your name. You gotta control your name. You gotta defend it. You gotta defend it.
And somebody around the locker room's got to take him under their wing, explain things to him. You know, where you've been means nothing now. Where you're going is all you need to be concerned with.
Yeah, and also remember, Ronbo, like I said, he came, he had an unusual role to get to where he was at, and he's like, what, 22? You say he's 22?
Somewhere 22, 23, yeah.
He's not even 25, so, he's only got 1 year on his belt. So he has a lot, he's got a lot, he's got a curve. He's got a curve that he's got to learn from.
He'll grow up. He'll be better for it.
And I don't think they're going to do it. And I don't think they're going to do anything. I think they probably
they've done all they're going to do. Yeah, I just wish they have a team meeting. Say, listen, guys, we're not going to have Grant Cohn having guys around here tearing lockers up and going nuts. Okay, you guys all know Grant. Let's act like we do. All right, Javon, you had your instance. Okay, it's over. Let's get over it. We got to play. But anyway, Brian, we got to go. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to see you Friday. Okay.
All right, Ronbo. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Productions, and once again, the 49ers faithful. Shout out to you, sir and ma'am. And as always, I'm out.
The law has spoken. Night, Brian.
Ronbo.
So
bang, bang, Niner gang. Keep it real.
There it is. And let's go check out Atlanta. Tony.
Mr. Ronbo, how are you this evening?
Doing fabulous. It's good to get this kind of entertainment now. I don't want this entertainment once the season starts because it would be, definitely not beneficial. But it's hilarious into one point, and it's sad in another way because, as I said, with Javon Kinlaw, I understand he's had it rough in his life, so his fuse is going to be short. So here's poor Grant I don't know if I should call Grant poor. Grant needs to know, don't mess with everybody. He's got a list of things he's been saying about Javon, and Javon's taking note. And he's that kind of guy where, who is this dude talking about me like this? And then Grant's got an audience. He's embarrassing Javon. And that's not the kind of guy you want. You know that kind of guy, right? These guys they got a short fuse. So, But
I've heard you guys talk about this Cohn character over the years. That's with your media. I'm gonna go look it up on YouTube, see if I can find the interview. But Ronbo, this sounds like a classic case of Cohn baiting them. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, Grant. Tony, you guys your beat writers, are all of them usually kind of level-headed, normal? Grant is, he likes to stand out as the outlier. He's not going to be like everybody else. He's going to do things usually marginally different than everybody else. So what you're going to expect from Grant is nothing that you really expect. He's going to say and ask you things that are like sticking you with a pin. And a lot of people love him doing that, and that encourages him, so he continues to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm entertained by it some of the time.
We don't really have anybody. Like, we got D. Orlando Ledbetter, who sometimes asks some stupid questions, but he's not like this guy. I've heard you guys talk about this guy for 3-4 years.
Everybody. But see, he's mission accomplished. Grant wants everybody to talk about him, hence the strategy. It works. Everybody knows Grant. Everybody knows him. And Javon Kinlaw definitely knows him. I don't think Grant's seen that coming because everybody accepts what Grant does for the most part. But to have a dude come at you and call you what bleep bleep on the field while you're out there, knock the hat off your head, according to Grant, and then tape you as you call him up that night, which I don't know if that a good idea or not, it gets crazy.
Yeah, I put in the chat, I said, hey, guys, remember in Any Given Sunday, that football movie, when that reporter pushing, and Al Pacino pushed them into that dugout?
I wonder how many reporters per year actually get physically harmed. Because you get, especially basketball players, even baseball players get a little PO'd if you ask the wrong question. And when they're not in the right mood,
I don't think they get physically harmed. I just think they might shout out at them or get smart with them, Physical harm, no, I don't see that.
Probably not, because it's going to cost you too much money. That's now you got battery, assault.
Hey, Ronbo, did you hear today? It did happen. The Raiders worked out Colin Kaepernick today.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because that was interesting.
They made fire.
Kaepernick, I think he doesn't mind accepting a backup role now because 2 or 3 years ago, I don't think he was interested in a backup role. He's coming in to compete for a starting job. But yeah, now the Raiders are looking at him. Pete Carroll looked at him too a few years. I don't know why Carroll kept doing that though. Was he serious?
Yeah, he has no choice now because the last time Kaepernick played, he was 28 years old. He's 34 years older.
Yeah, him and Russell Wilson about the same age, yeah. Because they came in at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And in 92's, Adam Schefter is putting out there, I don't know if he talked to Kyle Shanahan. He said Kyle Shanahan states that Jimmy Garoppolo will get traded. He said that around 2 o'clock your time today.
Yeah. And they're also mentioning, they're talking about reworking Jimmy's deal to make it a little more possible to trade.
Friendly.
Yeah. Because I doubt very seriously whether Jimmy wants to be continuing with the 49ers right now. So the 49ers would be best to just go ahead and get rid of him.
Y'all cut him, he's going to go right to Petey.
I don't know if they can. Well, if they cut him, they can work out a deal, can't they? They don't have to pay him the 26. Jimmy come in and say, "How about a prove it deal?" And let me compete with whoever your starting quarterback is, and we'll go from there.
Well,
you know, that could be. That could be.
But y'all can't do Ronbo. Y'all got to trade him.
Yeah. And the way the 49ers are looking at, here's a guy of value, no matter what his critics say. He's been in the thick of things. He came into San Francisco. We were trash. When he's leaving, we just left the NFCCG. Now, a lot of people don't want to give him credit, but his leadership, he's made some key plays. He made a lot of key plays last year, but he doesn't get any love for it. Getting in the NFCCG, or actually getting into the playoffs, getting past the Rams, that was a bold effort out there that day. So Jimmy G's a good quarterback. He gets into a program where he can actually orchestrate the offense a little bit more than he was with the 49ers. He could be something special. So you need to be able to get something for him. He's not trash by any stretch of the imagination. He can play. So, yeah, they're right to try to get something for him.
You can get like a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick or something for him, you know?
And better than nothing. Yeah, you just tell him to go for free. That's just ridiculous. Yeah. So.
Yep. And on any other news, still it's been kind of quiet in Falcons camp. They're getting these receivers and everybody acclimated because we got the guy from the Raiders. We got like 3 or 4 players from the Raiders.
Oh.
Marcus Mariota, Brian Edwards.
That's right.
The linebacker. We're going to be releasing or trading Deion Jones, though, to save us $11 million in cap space. That's going to happen.
Is that an X-Raider too?
No, Deion Jones, he drafted him in 2016.
Oh, okay.
He made the Pro Bowl in 2017, linebacker. He's an undersized linebacker on that Super Bowl team.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Tony, we
the money, and we're probably going to release him.
No, that's too bad. It's a little late to be released. Well, I guess at the cut, though, I guess. All right. Well, Tony, we got to go.
Yep.
I tell you what, I'll be looking for you Friday.
Yes, sir, Ronbo. It's been very peaceful in the chat.
I noticed that.
Ignoring the you-know-whats, and they're fading away. I was telling Ellis in the chat, it's so peaceful. They fade away.
Give Ellis props on that for actually the antidote.
Yeah,
I seen Rado Carlos in there earlier.
Please hit the like button. There's 89 of us to hit the like button. There's 261 people in the chat. Hit the likes, hit the likes, hit the likes.
Thanks, Tony.
Ronbo, shout out to you and the production team. You're the best of business.
Thanks, fam. Appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing from you Friday, Tony. Have a great night.
Take care.
Thanks. You too. And
What's happening?
Emilio, man, after I found out, because I was waiting, I was bird dogging I was watching my phone like crazy. John Lynch, Grant comes in. John Lynch didn't say word one, but Grant got up and tweeted. John Lynch called myself and Javon Kinlaw in today, and he facilitated a conversation where we got everything hashed out. Javon talked, I listened. The part that made me laugh. Javon, but you know the hush now, don't you? And then we're going to put that behind us now, and it's all over. So, in other words, Grant wants us to leave it alone. But I watch it. I want to know, do you tell Javon, look, man, we've been dealing with people saying things, not only him, but you got Stephen A. Smith, you got this dude, you got this dude. You need to learn to be able to endure that. Or, since Grant is not liked by a lot of 49ers, including Kyle Shanahan, is it time to maybe put Grant on probation and say, listen, Grant, it's not about, don't take this personally, Grant, but listen, a lot of folks think you're a pain in the butt, and we may not need you to attend these conferences. Is that, you know what I mean? You got to change your style. Do you do that, or just leave him alone, or just leave the whole thing alone?
There's so many ways and variables you can go about that. Because I'm like, you can suspend them or tell them, you know what, you're not welcome back anymore. He's gonna start talking bad about the team, the bad organization. So it just reporters is just straight a-holes. It's just they say some are good rumor, but at the end of the day, they just want you to read their articles, pay attention to them, get their likes up, read their reports, and give them ear. That's all they do. I like some of them. I don't like more because they just, especially when they bash the team. I get it. There's one guy what's his name?
Matt Milko?
Dang, I forgot his name. Yeah, Mayoko. Yeah, no, Mayoko will tell you. He's like, man, I've been reporting the team for years. When the team is horrible, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to report the team when it's good. I mean, I'm going to do my report, talk about players, give my opinion. But I'm going to tell you, this team, he doesn't say they suck, but this team is not good. I'm going to tell you this team is horrible and why it's horrible. When they're great, I'm going to tell you why they're great and what they may need to fix or what they need to add or what this player should do, or he just gives his opinions, like I said. So I like Malcolm. He gives you what they need to do, what they don't need to do, or what needs to be done. So, he keeps it honest. If the team is bad, he'll tell you it's good, it's good. It's just, you would want all the reporters to be like that, but it's impossible. You're always going to have that one a-hole that's going to say, talk bad about players no matter how good they do or how bad they do, no matter what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case with Javon, Javon was like, dude, what is your problem? You can tell a lot of players hold back from reporters because they do that a lot. Mm-hmm. And he just got to the point where, dude, if you watch your damn mouth, the next time I'll bust your mouth. But, with John Lynch, John Lynch got in the middle of that before it went that far because he has the feeling that he knows Javon and Javon would hit him and not caring if he loses his job or gets fined. He wouldn't care. You see Javon, it's that kind of guy you could tell. Dude, I don't give a damn if you fine me or suspend me. You keep talking bad about me, I'm going to hit you in your mouth. Which, I'm not condoning it, but, hey, I understand it. Dude, stop talking bad about players. If you're going to report, do your job. But when you're down talking players, they're bad or bust or whatever the case may be, dude, there's a limit to how far you can go. And somebody saying something to you. I could be talking bad about you, and then eventually you say, you know what, I'm tired of you. I'm not going to let you back on my show. It's that simple.
And that's what I was thinking. I think one more altercation, and the 49ers are probably going to have to make a decision on that, I would guess. But, it's going to be interesting to see. But you got to tell the players, though, guys, we're not going to react to reporters, okay? If we are, we're not going to do it in that fashion.
I get it, but at the same time, you also got to check somebody like, dude, are you serious? And so, like I said, it goes both ways. With John Lynch, it just seems like he just got there before it went any further, just trying to make sure it doesn't, he doesn't put his hands on it. Like I said, you can tell Javon doesn't give a damn. Like, dude, I don't give a damn what you feel. You feel like you're disrespecting me, I'm going to make sure you don't do it again. And I'm going to handle it the way I think best way to be handled.
But it's really funny because, we all know Grant the same way. Everybody knows Grant has his style, and it's to be expected. And you either ignore it or you laugh or whatever you do. But I don't get mad. Now you know how he comes on every night. You have Twitter. You got Twitter.
No, I actually don't.
Okay. Yeah,
I've heard reports and I've seen people, like I said, people I know, certain of my other Niner buddies, they send me stuff. Oh, you see what he said?
Yeah,
they send me Twitter things. The thing is, I read them.
That's what I'm saying. You got Grant was for like a month. Breaking news. So I click in because what? Break. He's doing a recording. Jimmy Garoppolo is still on this team.
Okay.
So he finally did it for about the third or fourth time, and I says, Grant, are you serious? Is he really?
Dude, it's just yeah, seriously, no shit. But like I told you before, that's why I don't like listening to certain people. There's one that, like I said, there's I forget his name too. There's Locked On 49ers, Croc and the other guy.
Eric Crocker.
They talk about it. I'm like, yeah, there you go. He can be on the team until week 1 and don't owe him anything. So what does it matter? It doesn't matter who's saying who's what and trading all. It doesn't matter. 49ers don't owe Jimmy nothing until week 1. He can play the 3 preseason. He can be on the roster.
Already paid him for last
all
season.
3 preseason games.
Damn right.
And they don't owe Jimmy 1 penny until the start of week 1. So they can say either trade him that day or cut him.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if Jimmy's on the team. All that matters is Trey's getting his reps as of now. That's all that matters.
And there's no problem with that. Jimmy can't throw until July anyway.
So
So
it doesn't
Jimmy
matter
has,
if you.
Nothing to do with what's going on with the San Francisco 49ers. That's George Kittle. George's been trying to text him, and Jimmy won't even answer. Jimmy Garoppolo, for all intents and purposes, has already mentally checked out of San Francisco. He doesn't want to be there anymore
Exactly.
either.
Like you can tell, he does. He had his time. With the team, he took us to a Super Bowl, and then she champion. It's just his time is done. The same thing, the same way we had Kaepernick. Had his chance, went to the Super Bowl,
and out.
It happens.
But
hopefully Trey can get us there, do better. But,
or else he's going to get the same treatment in about 2 years.
No, yeah. we all know it. Like, dude, come on to the next. Yeah.
Man, we got to go. We got to go, fam. I understand there's a bunch of people here waiting. This subject matter got people going, I guess.
I get it.
All right, fam.
Everybody.
I'll see you Friday. You too.
All right.
Hey, Chase.
What's good, Ronbo?
Chase, man, we're looking at the comedy scene. And as I said, this is the perfect time of the year for this comedy scene to take place because there's no football going on. But Chase, your opinion on the Grant Cohn, Javon Kinlaw situation. It's, what would you do different than John Lynch did? Or the same?
You know what? I don't think there could have been a different path taken from any parties, to be honest with you. I think John did the right thing. I think Grant got exactly what he was looking for out of the situation. He's getting his 5 seconds of fame. And I think Javon just wanted to speak his mind. And I respect him the most out of anyone involved for that. I mean, it's just crazy to me that people are saying that he needs to grow up and be more professional when we're not talking about Trey or Nick or Jimmy. All these dudes that y'all are comparing him to, Javon told Grant several times during the live stream, "You don't know me. I'm not your friend." And everyone's acting like they know him and they know what's best for him. But, man, I just think he wants to play football and be himself, and that's what he's doing. He's expressing himself, and I love that, to be honest. I feel like the Niners and the Bay Area, we've always been about diversity and just outspoken personalities, and that's what it should be. I don't want to see a bunch of Bill Belichick's up there like robots just saying what everyone thinks they should say, he's not bred to be media trained, he is who he is, and I love that about him.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I hate to see him get that stressed out. I want him to focus on football. The thing is, he went over to Grant while Grant was on the field because whatever Grant's been saying about has been eating him up for God knows how long, right? So he went over there to say, I forgot how the conversation went, but it escalated, right? Okay, maybe I don't need for Javon to go over there because reporters are not allowed to fraternize that closely with the players. They're supposed to do what they do, observe from a distance. So for Javon to walk over there, automatically he's going over there because he's got something to say to Grant. So don't do that. Just don't.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best decision on his part, but I mean, like I said, it's his life to live, man. And I just feel like if y'all are gonna judge him for the decisions he's making, he's not hurting anyone physically. He's not. He could have put himself in a position to get cut. Honestly, I feel it's pretty
crystal clear to me that Kyle doesn't like Grant either. Like, if anything, I think Javon might get a bonus for this. Like,
but the
he's not going
NFL's
to be off the team.
the NFL's not going to allow that, no matter what the 49ers say.
No,
definitely
not.
I'm glad he did chill out. He only got mad. And, the thing is, he got mad after Grant's tweets and some of the things he said. I think Javon was done with it on the field. He got mad later. Okay? So,
Yeah, and my thing is, like, he's just speaking his mind. And that's what all of us are doing on your platform. Like, I just feel like you can't get mad at him for, like,
expressing his feelings.
Y'all are saying he needs to have, like, thicker skin and mature and, like, it shouldn't be a big deal. Well,
Chase,
it's not that big of a deal what he did. Like, why can't you guys have thicker skin? Like
Chase,
you've never heard the F word before? Like, you've never heard someone
I agree with that, Chase.
before?
The thing is, when you're that high profile, you do have to conduct and carry yourself in a little different fashion. You have to.
He should.
So he'll be okay.
But like I said, it's not Jimmy or Trey. Like, he's not the face of the franchise. You know, like, he just, like I said, he just wants to do his thing. He from what I've seen on the field, like, people are calling him a bust and saying he's trash, but we've seen a lot of good things from him when he's on the field. Like,
we got to go, but
beast
listen,
on the field.
This is the last year they're going to say anything about Javon Kinlaw. He's gonna make this season his season.
I hope so, man. Yes,
Chase,
sir.
Listen,
all right, I'll let you go, man.
All right, Phil. And I'll be back Friday. All right. Have a good night.
All right, bro. All right, you too.
Thanks. And area code 415. Come on in. 415.
Hello?
Hey, hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, Ronbo.
Yes, what is your name?
How you doing, man? This is Prime Nation, man. Finally called in for the first time.
Did you say Prime Nation?
Prime Nation.
That's what I thought. You said Prime Nation. All right.
Yep.
I love it.
I've been watching your show for a long time. I want to say thank you. You're doing good for our empire, doing way better than Grant is for sure.
Thanks, Phil. We're just talking about him and Javon and an altercation that somebody in the chat said has been coming for a long time. I think that's what the problem is. Prime, you can spotlight it however you want, but I'm thinking this has been going on for a long time, and one guy out of God knows how many guys got mad to that point. Because if Javon walked over there to him, he had something in mind when he went over there. But your feeling on this?
Well, Grant deserved it. He's been criticizing these players falsely for a long time. You don't never really speak up on the real stuff that be going on in the football games. For instance, who's worse, Jimmy or our offensive line?
Some people will never, ever acknowledge that. The offensive line has got guys coming through at 100 miles an hour. It's the quarterback's fault. Oh, Jesus. Have you ever played this game? I guess not. So, it is what it is. And Grant knows. I don't know if Grant knows about those things or not either. It's kind of strange. Some of the observations he makes are somewhat ignorant, but he gets away with it. But he's been around the game so long, I'm surprised sometimes about what he says. But go ahead.
Well, he's a New Yorker. We gotta admit it. He's a New Yorker. His dad's from New York. He was born out here, but the mentality is still New Yorkish. And so that kind of, tapers everything with him not actually liking the 49ers. I don't actually really have a problem with him because when I go up on his chat or whatnot, I always ask him, like, who was worse. He praises Chris Kosaric, but Chris Kosaric couldn't get Solomon Thomas to develop. He couldn't get Eric Armstead to fully develop. So if he doesn't get Javon Kinlaw to develop, is that upon the player or is that on the coach?
Hey, did Kosaric was Solomon Thomas with us? Because he wasn't he? Kosaric was, yeah. Eric Armstead had a 10-sack season. I don't know if that can be. He fell down a little bit last year. See, that's what I'm talking about. Eric Armstead is not a bad football player, although some people still think he is.
Oh no, I don't think he's a bad football player. It's just that when we're criticizing these players, right, and we don't put the full spotlight or we don't tell things correctly, they get tainted. And so now we as fans get to listen to BS.
But you were saying Chris Kasurik. I'm saying I don't know if I could blame Chris Kasurik for the production or lack of production from Eric Armstead. Chris Kasurik has done wonders with that defensive line. It's one of the best in the league.
Oh, yes, he has.
Yeah.
But it seems like he's doing it with the second-tier players. He's not doing it with our number one draft picks.
Yeah. Well, except for Nick. DJ Jones was doing a good job.
Well, Nick had all the skills coming out of college, Ronbo. So
that's true.
Remember, he was able to eat good hand placement, good
everything was
good,
right.
So he had all the skills coming out of college.
He's a Bosa.
And then also too, ever since Super Bowl, I was the one on your podcast saying one covered corner away from a dynasty. One cover every day. Remember, I put one covered corner away from a dynasty.
That's true.
One covered corner away from the dynasty. And that was all the way in 2019 when we was in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a 49er fan, for me, I'm like, let's focus on the things that would make the Niners change something and put together something so we can. So last year they were saying how our wide receivers wasn't getting separation in the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Grant never focused upon that. He just focused on Jimmy. Jimmy.
The quarterback can only do so much. You can lead him. Another thing about the cornerback, Javarius Winters, and I understand he was looking good even yesterday. So this guy's going to be good. I think we might got a cover. I think we might got a corner we can actually appreciate, fam. I really do.
Oh, yeah. But if you look on the other side, Ambry Thomas got talent. He could play man-to-man. He's fast enough to cover. And so now who is teaching who is teaching Ambry Thomas to be better? You know what I'm saying? Because Kello Weatherspoon, only problem he had was turning around and locating the football.
Hey, but did you see Spoon in Pittsburgh? I'm watching Spoon, and he looks like a different player. So you know what? There's something to be said about that cornerback coach. Who is coaching the corners?
Yep. Who is coaching? That's what I've been trying to figure out, Ronbo.
I should know that. Who's a DB coach? Anybody in the chat? Who's a DB coach? Because, we've had some so-so DB coaches. When Kyle first came, that dude he fired. And I don't know who we've had lately. You know what, though, fam? Prime, it's about the 49ers are more interested in getting that pass rush and destroying the quarterback so he can't get the ball out and do the things he wants to do. Now, that works probably 70% of the time. And I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, but if we don't have no ball hawks that can turn around and locate a football around, that's going to be pass interference, touchdown all day.
You remind me of, what's his name last year? He ain't going to play this year with us.
This year, Norman.
God, Josh. Oh! Fam, we ran out of time. Prime, I'll be back Friday.
Let me say one more thing, Ronbo, about Kinlaw, please, if I could. And see, Kinlaw is not going to be a sack guy. Kinlaw is going to stop the run game where we were getting beat at. Kinlaw is going to be able to run that offensive line, defensive line, and keep those guys within 1 yard or short of yardage when they run the ball. So that's body. Where Kinlaw is going to be promising at his big old body. Yep.
And draw double teams. All right, Prime. I will see you Friday. Good to hear from you. All right.
Oh, yeah. Just take down his number. Remember, man, I'll be calling in more.
We got you now. All right.
For sure. Thank you. All right.
Hey, it's ice, baby. Ice is late. Out in Florida. Ice.
The drug boss decided he didn't want to pay.
Uh-oh. Ice didn't make it. Ice?
That night, he and his main enforcer, Jeffrey Barnes.
It's not Ice. Ice is watching something. I was going to say, is that Ice talking? All right, let's see. Ice will hear us pretty soon. All right, let's go to... Let's go to Bill.
Okay, I've been waiting for a very long time.
Sorry, Bill. You got a little
We're gonna
busy on
go
this topic
back.
tonight. Yeah.
That's fine. We're going to go back. We're going to take a step back and put Kinlaw situation a little bit back here. We're going to go back to the 2001 Ravens when they had the most trashiest quarterback named Trent Dilfer, and they won the Super Bowl with a great, stellar defense. I mean, the defense was hungry, and they won.
Yeah.
So, we're going to go with Don Shula in the 1972 Dolphins. He was just more vicious, just like Grant. He was a monster in that locker room, and that team won a Super Bowl. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't really care. If Grant wants to try to sue the Niners, he needs to tone it down a little bit if he can't handle it. But now, as for Kinlaw, the media is ruthless. The paparazzi is ruthless. That's just what in their nature. What you should do is you really dislike Grant. Every quarterback you face this next season, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, put Grant's face right there. Break through that O-line and sack that quarterback and be a beast. Try to beat Bosa to the quarterback. I guarantee you we'll win more games.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly Super Bowl.
Because you got a new kid on the other side, and Bosa. If you're right, if Kinlaw can have a monster year, oh my God, his defense is going to be absurd.
I don't want to give him sympathy. I want him to take that, channel it, put Grant's face on that quarterback, and pretend that he's hitting Grant when he hits that quarterback. Make that quarterback kiss the grass and get us some W's. That would be something to shut him up.
Well, now, wait. Now, Grant did say if Kinlaw has a good year, he's going to come back and say nothing but good things to him about him. You know,
he will.
I really believe that, too. He will. Because it's been said, so he's got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we have a stellar year. And if he puts it into perspective and not be upset, and let him be mad when he practices. Let him think about that and focus on winning the games, the strategy, the game plan, and put that into the game, and put that, like I said, put Grant's face on that quarterback. We'll be okay. We need guys like that to steam the defense. We're not talking about an offensive player. We're talking about defense. They're paid to go after that quarterback, especially what Kinlaw is, or some to cover the wide receivers. He didn't go after a cornerback. He went after a guy who could get to that quarterback. Wrong or right, Ronbo?
No, I agree. Javon Kinlaw is, and also Javon Kinlaw is a big body. It takes a lot to move him left to right. So also he's ideally suited for the run too. And he's pretty fast on his feet. We saw him. Remember that pick he made year before last? I don't believe that. When he made that catch.
So I want to be worried. I want to be worried who's going to be quarterback. That's why I brought Trent Dilfer into the picture, because Trent Dilfer talks really worse. I'll tell you what, Trey Lance is way better than Mr. Trent Dilfer. If you ever think about being. So think about that. If we have a defense and Trey does come out and does something, man, you cannot take us out of the Super Bowl equation. There is no way.
I hope so. You know, this team's got a lot of players. We got a lot of veterans that know how to carry this club anyway. You know, all Trey has to do in his first season is avoid being any reason why we lose. Otherwise, he's just got to do his thing, and we'll be okay. Because like you say, the defense is going to be tough.
Don't get rough in the passer call.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with you on that. And you know what? Ronbo, I just gotta say, just be happy, be excited. We need a guy like Grant to steam him up. The defense mad, he's mad.
But don't get
Food's
too
coming
mad.
out of his mouth.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was mad.
Yeah, if you're gonna get that mad, put it on the field. And you know what? Let's see some dubs. And Ronbo, give me a 49er shout out.
I can do that.
I'll see you Friday.
I'm looking forward to it.
Give me one moment. Keep being faithful. I appreciate you being on the field. Give me a 49er shout out.
And you and Sly. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Bill, you and Snyder have a
One
great
more
night.
time. At least we ain't them Cowboys. They get more criticism than Kinlaw.
They got to have problems with the Eagles too this year. All right, Bill.
Yeah.
I'll see you on
All
Friday.
right, talk to you later.
Night, y'all. Hey, Bethel.
Hey, Rumble.
Bethel, man, yeah, it was funny yesterday. I was looking for you yesterday. We were talking about something else yesterday, and all of a sudden, Grant came on live with Javon Kinlaw having lost his mind. This is this is after the earlier part of the day when Grant claimed that Javon called him, as you know, a suck butt.
Yeah.
So, it was an ongoing saga all day, which, you know what? In fact, you do have to. Grant could have let that go. He didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think Javon got mad until he called him. I think he was over it. So, this thing now, you heard about John had to call him in both to get him to air it out and get it over.
Yeah.
But the thing is, now we're asking the question, Grant should still be left as he is. Grant's got to be Grant. That's who he is. Leave him alone. Or should Grant calm it down a little bit and maybe think about not pissing people off, especially the players? Don't worry about the fans, but the players. You want to take it easy with them. Or should Javon Kinlaw learn to just endure and focus on his game? Where you at on this?
Okay, Javon Kinlaw tweeted out two things. He tweeted out one thing. He said it's not over. He checked his hand just because of the business, but he said that it's not over.
Somebody just said that in the chat a little while ago. Okay, so where did you see this?
I seen the tweet. He tweeted it out himself.
Just a little while ago, I guess.
Yeah, and then on the second one, he put that he stands up for the people that need standing up for. And one thing that people should realize is that you cannot compare him to Trey Lance, to Jimmy G, to nobody else. Why? Because he wasn't raised like that. He was raised a lot different than other people.
It was hard.
Yeah, when you're raised different ways, you cannot be judged like other people because I'm the way where if you talk to me a certain way and you respect, if you respect me, I respect you and I talk to you, right. But if you're over here talking a bunch of shit and you're sick, then I'm gonna talk to you the way you're talking to me. I'll talk to you the same way. Why? Because that's how you're doing it to me.
Mm-hmm. And that's
because
how Javon
somebody.
Grew up. He never learned.
Yeah.
Being diplomatic is not his style. So he's going to take what Grant says seriously because Grant's in the position he's in. So now Javon's looking at him like, this dude is trying to stop me from making a living. I mean, I wouldn't look at it that way. You wouldn't look at it that way, but he does.
But he will. Yeah, it's like if I'm at work and I'm working my ass off to make the job way better, to do all this, and there's a guy over here, talking a bunch of shit about my work. I'm all like, why are you talking a bunch of shit if you don't know what I'm doing? If you see me messing up and you see me, okay, talk your shit. But if you haven't seen any of that, then you cannot say nothing until you see it.
And also, the criticism was nonstop. And then Grant reads off an entire list of how many things. Why are you mad, Javon? Are you mad because of this? Are you mad because of this? Are you mad? I said, Grant, you're not diffusing this by doing that.
Teasing, that's teasing them. and you know, do that.
It really is.
Especially to a big guy like that. You know.
Anyway.
So it's it's both of them fault, for, doing what they did, because I guess the heat of the moment probably got to both of them. It's just that if the trouble is that, you can't have Grant Cohn over there because now players have to worry if they say something or they do something wrong, they might get sued by Grant Cohn. So, that, and you don't want that.
You know what? Nobody's gonna walk even near Grant. If he walks on the field now, they're gonna be told, "Look, guys, if I don't just stay away from Grant." All right, I'm asking you guys, please, just stop. And I know that's what he's gonna say. He's just gonna say, "Don't confront him. Don't talk to him. Don't go near him." Because he's got to stay in a distance anyway. The rest of the reporters, they cannot fraternize with the players. They have to stay in a distance and do what they do. That's why Javon walked over there. Show you how pissed off he is. He walked way over there, and they're in a distance just to get on Grant. He didn't get on anybody else.
He's gonna have to do it like the Water Boy, where he was looking at the quarterback and looking at the team. He sees one face, Grant Cohn.
And I got something to say to him. Because, like I just said, Javon, why are you mad? And then Grant goes down the list. Well, Grant, now you're antagonizing him. So of course he's pissed. So,
Yeah, and then plus, I was taught that, when you are courtesy to somebody, you treat somebody the way they want you to be treated.
Yeah.
So if you want to be treated good, then you be good to another person. But if you're being bad to a person, then how you expect another person to be good to you if you're not, respecting that?
Yeah, you got to earn respect, and that usually means that you need to reciprocate in like fashion. So, but see, like what you said earlier, now Javon grew up in a different way, and I imagine his life was pretty rough. And then you have a low esteem. You don't really think a lot of yourself if you grow up like that. But all of a sudden, if he got to the Gamecocks, he played great football. He's now a first-round draft pick in the NFL. Well, now his esteem should be up a little higher so he can withstand criticism. I do wish he would just snap out of it. Now, Javon, this is not back in the day. Now you're at the big time, okay? Don't worry about him saying what he says. Just go out there and prove him wrong. That's all you got to do, and then everybody else will talk for you.
Yeah, he could do it that way, but it all depends on who was taught and how they were taught.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. Well, fam, we're out of time. Let me see you Friday, Bethel. I didn't see you yesterday. I was wondering, where's Bethel? All right. Well,
all right, Rumble.
Looking for you there.
Hit the like and let's go now.
Thanks, fam. Have a great night, Bethel.
Right.
And let's go see what Dre's feeling about this matter and what is it and how could it be fixed and should it be fixed, Dre?
Ronbo, let me tell you, man, this here finna get real ugly. It's finna end two ways. It's finna get ugly. For starters, it been hit national news.
I heard about that.
You got
all the way
a
out
few
in New York
NFL.
City.
You had a couple NFL people talking about it. So
Bleach Report's got the whole
they're
package
talking
deal.
about him. No, but they talking about him smacking the hat off of him and then turning around and threatening him. So if Roger Goodell get a hold of him smacking the hat off of Grant Cohn's head,
Okay, but there's no footage. There's
or
no film.
threatening him,
No, the threat is another story.
It's,
but
it's
Dre, did he really
witnesses.
threaten him though? He sort of said, "My
Yeah, he
whole
did.
family
He
knows you."
said, "My family knows how you
What
look.
you look
Keep
like."
my name out your mouth."
That's not really
I
a threat.
said, you know what?
Actually,
I said because I was watching you last night. Normally I call in. I said I'm just gonna watch tonight. I said you Robo got everything under control. Then my boy come in. My little boy, he's about 8.
Mm-hmm.
He come in. He say his private parts. I said, what you talking about?
What?
Him. And I'm looking at the phone, and I'm like, what is he? Bruh, like, man, my G, like, for real, I ain't the violent one, Ronbo, but I'm really from that hood. Like, don't disrespect my baby like that, bruh.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
For real.
And
No child of mine needs to know how big your balls is, partner.
And
I
that's
don't care
why,
who you play for.
and that's why it got like it did.
I don't care. I don't give a damn who you play for. You got kids, so do everybody else, nigga. Don't nobody need to know how big your balls is, bro. That pissed me off. Like, my baby came in and telling me that at 8 years old.
See, because you pick up everything. They're like sponges at that age.
No, he's showing me the video, Ronbo, and then everybody online, they're like, "Oh, he right, bro. It's kids watching this."
Hey, wait a minute.
Anybody want somebody growing up saying to, huh?
Oh, I thought you were talking about, because somebody said Grant was shooting that video in the toilet. I thought you were
No,
talking about...
my kids was watching this show, and he came in and showed me while I was watching your show what he was saying to Grant. And I'm saying, like, bro, you are a public icon figure, and you sat up here and you doing this in front of kids. And then when John Lynch said it squash, you get online like a childish little 17-year-old kid and act like you ain't never been homeless before. Like, this ain't a blessing. And you got this in the bag. Ain't nothing wrong with your knee. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You came out and got you Bosa. Like, basically, you play like Bosa every year. Year in and year out since you got drafted. That's the way he acted. He wants somebody to respect him like he Bosa. Is everybody feeling some type of way because of that?
It's true, Dre, but you know what? I also, the one thing, I think Grant went after him unlike he did some of the other guys. Grant even read down the list of things he said about him. But he's a first-round pick, and he is going to be a target in that way. Nobody ever told Javon... Listen, you're going to get a lot of ridicule.
Was going at Kittle,
you're going to get a lot of
ridicule. When Grant went at Kittle, he didn't slap him. He didn't step to him. He didn't tell him that his balls was bigger than he is. When he went at Mostert, and Mostert didn't step to Grant, he didn't tell him how big his balls was bigger than him, his little nuts, and he felt how cold he was.
Well,
These is grown men.
Dre, this is who he is. That's the way, that is him. I don't know who he grew up with. I know his life was rough. And where he was, but I do know, I've seen guys like this, and I always knew how to talk and communicate with them. There's places you can go, and there's places you cannot go.
I'm from there. I'm from there. I'm from there. You know
what I'm saying?
I got a couple family members like that.
And Grant doesn't know anything about that. So, the thing is,
look, Grant, I feel like they both was wrong. You feel me? It was a bunch of antagonizing, him trolling, and then at the same time, Kinlaw feeling some type of way about himself, that he feel like he the big brother of everybody. But if Jimmy Ward, when he went on Grant's show, and did a show, did an interview with him, he talked to Grant like a grown man in a way and let Grant know he didn't appreciate none of the things he was being said about him.
But
then he went out there that next year and had a dog year.
Was it Jimmy's more well versed at that? Grant, Javon is not. Javon just got angry. The boy was raging mad. And he couldn't even, he repeated himself about 6-7 times. He kept saying the same thing over and over again. So I knew right then and there, man, this is one of them dudes that when he gets mad, don't be in the same room.
Because it's like his daddy is real cool with the Yorks. They've been cool since Bill Walsh days. And he talks about that when he go on his show and say, I really ain't, I'm not, like I tell everybody, I ain't a fan of Grant. I don't get no, me, I came on this show plenty of times and said, you know what, he done lost his damn mind. You got on my nerve, you said, Dre, calm down, that's just Grant. I'm venting to you.
That's the bottom line. People need to understand. Grant is Grant, and you know him. Don't people don't need to overreact.
But I'm saying I'm grown. I'm not a football player. I'm from that life. You feel me? I'm from the projects where you came up on food stamps and one of your parents was a drug addict. I'm from that life. You get what I'm saying? You get with me? So let me pump everybody brakes when they say, oh well, you got to think of his mental. Well, he didn't get his bottom spanked when he was a kid. He's a little sensitive.
Dre,
and then on top of that, Ronbo, before I go, I know you got to go. Shout out to production and everybody, but they calling us a circus in the people's pooch. That pissed me off. I ain't go circus. I tried to get my Super Bowl prediction. They said you circus.
It'll get better, man. This is going to blow over in 24 more hours. All right.
I pray if Javon Kinlaw don't say shit else. All right.
Dre, I'll see you Friday if you got some time. Oh, God. And let me give you Benny Yam. Is that Benny Yam Hallamariam? Benny Yam said Kinlaw had a rough childhood. Grant triggered him. And I think that might be exactly what happened here. Let me say, well, it's a big show. It's a big show. Oh, hey, show, come on in, man.
What's up, Ronbo?
Well, so I was thoroughly amused when Grant first came on. I remember Niner Joe put up there. I hadn't even known about it yet, but Grant's quoting what Javon Kinlaw said to him, which already had me damn near in tears. I said, "Geez, I don't remember anybody ever talking to Grant like this." And then, of course, it escalated, as you know. But Big Show, what I want to know is Grant the one that needs to be reprimanded here and toned down and asked to stop it, or even warned if you can't get along with the players, like we can't have you in here? Or does Javon Kinlaw need to back up and realize he's a first-round draft pick? He's playing with the San Francisco 49ers. You can't get any more high profile than that. Rams fans, that's right. And therefore, should he learn to endure? I don't know if that's healthy mentally. You should have an outlet when you don't want to get real mad. Javon went and acted out and walked across the field to get behind Grant and say some things. That was wrong. But, what is your thinking on all this?
First of all, Grant Cohn should not change who he is or how he does his reporting. I actually admire Grant Cohn for the way he does his reporting, because I like players being held
accountable
to a higher standard, and this organization is known for winning Super Bowls. And these players need their feet to be held to the fire. You know what I mean? Javon Kinlaw's been with us for 3 years, and this is a what have you done for me lately league. And from Grant Cohn's perspective, Javon Kinlaw has been nothing but a bust. He's been with us for 3 years and has done absolutely nothing.
Which is what Grant called him, basically.
Pretty much. And if you can't handle that criticism, then get out of the kitchen, man. I mean, come on. You're a professional, for Christ's sake. The person responsible for bringing food to your table and taking food away from your table is yourself, not Grant Cohn. And Javon Kinlaw came out looking like a loser and showing us all what amount of pressure he's under to perform this year. Because if he doesn't perform, then he's not going to get a contract. And if he doesn't get a contract, this is going to mark against him too, the way he acted towards a reporter. You don't act like there's a certain standard players have to follow. There's a code of conduct players have to follow towards reporters, fans, and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, these are professionals. They have to act as professionals.
This is definitely
and
a first. I was shocked.
Came across, he came across as an asshole. I'm sorry. But,
I've just never seen that kind of anger
grow
display.
Grow some thicker skin, man. This is part of the game. This is part of your profession. You're going to be criticized. Look at Jimmy Garoppolo, how much criticism he's gotten ever since that throw.
If anybody can
he
learn,
threw to Emmanuel Sanders, and take
from Jimmy. Exactly.
Jimmy Garoppolo's playbook. Yeah, take a page from his playbook. Just ignore it and play ball. Continue to play ball and shut your critics up and take him to the NFC Championship game again for the second year out of 3 years that he's been there. That's how you go about your business. I don't know why people are shocked about Grant Cohn. This is the way he's been for years.
Yeah.
And like I said, I admire him because nobody holds these players or front office executives to the fire like Grant and his dad did. Grant learned from his dad, and Grant held Jed York accountable when he was still reporting before he retired. And there's a clip of Lowell Cohn going after Jed, and I admire Lowell for doing that when Bulky was still with us. You know what I mean? Because nobody was holding those clowns accountable for the busts of draft picks they've collected over the years. And John Lynch is looking like Trent Bulky 2.0. I keep telling people that.
Well, he tried to pull Javon in and Grant and get it worked out, according to Grant. I got to believe it must have
all
happened.
of John Lynch's first round draft picks have been bust.
Oh, picks. Well,
oh my!
Nick,
only one that's panned out. Nick Bosa. But
that's about it, huh? Wait. Let me think about that for a
that's
second.
it.
No, you got Brandon Ayuk. He looks pretty solid.
And you trade up the number 3, and you're contemplating not even trading Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, Kyle Shannon pretty much said it's not a guarantee we trade him.
You know what?
And
after the season starts, I've got to. Well, everybody knows. I'm wondering why they're dragging ass on that. They could have gotten rid of Jimmy for any. I'd have gave him away for anything. If you're serious about Trey Lance, you just do it.
Week 1 starter. I'm sorry, but Trey Lance is a bust.
Oh, we cannot afford that. They've given up too much.
No, especially if
somebody's gonna get fired if he is.
Yeah, if Jimmy Garoppolo is Week 1 starter, that says Trey Lance is a bust right there. I'm sorry, there's no sugarcoating that. And Grant Cohn is going to be on John Lynch's ass.
Oh my God, that would be
like beautiful. He has been, and he has every right to be because John Lynch hasn't been executive of the year.
But you know what? Hey, you got to give him credit for past the first round. They seem to do good work.
That's
we
pure
got a good team.
luck, though, Ronbo. That is extremely pure luck. Yeah. That is not skill or talent or anything like that. That is pure luck. It's like the draft is like scratching. The draft is like a scratch off ticket, Ronbo. Like you either hit or you miss. You know, it really is.
Yeah.
And they've been extremely lucky. If it wasn't for Fred Warner, George Kittle, or Deebo Samuel,
those are not first round picks.
John Lynch would have been a disaster.
I know. As I say, I almost wish. I'm almost like not bothered that they don't have a first round pick. We've already got like a couple of players in camp that seem to be better than expected. You know, when you look at, we're going to find out though. Don't want to speak too soon on that. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna look bad to contract year for Javon Kinlaw, and I really don't think that the way he acted towards the reporter, threatening him.
No, he
throwing off the that speaks volumes right there about your character, how thin of skin you are, and they expect better from you as far as being a professional goes. That's why they let Reuben Foster go, and Javon Kinlaw's a ticking time bomb. Like, he showed that.
Yeah, he's going to be. And I just wish some of the guys around the clubhouse would just listen. Javon, let me talk to you, man. He's got to get somebody. He's got to trust. Nick Bosa could probably get him to do anything. He's got to chill out. Don't you know?
You got to understand this is Grant Cohn. This is who we've been for years. Like he's not gonna change. This is how his dad made a career.
I know, that's I bet he. But you know what though? He will. I got a feeling he will be afraid of Javon Kinlaw. I don't look for him to say anything about Kinlaw. I can't imagine him saying anything about Kinlaw for God knows how long. And unless Kinlaw does something good, he may chime in. But I don't see him saying anything to Kinlaw again.
I really doubt that. I mean, Ron,
we'll see.
He makes a living off of.
That's true.
Antagonizing players and coaches and GMs and
don't you think he was
owners.
Intimidated? I think he was intimidated. Just we're out of
no.
time. I'm gonna see.
All right.
Hopefully, get back and see you Friday.
All right. Take care.
All right.
For sure. All right. Good night.
And let's go check in and see if Ice is ready. Ice, you there?
Ronbo.
There he is. Ice, were you asleep before and just now woke up?
Nah, man, I've been chilling. I'm in New York right now, visiting my family.
Okay.
I go back to Florida in like 2 more weeks. So me and my daughter, we up here just relaxing, chilling, man. You know.
Oh, good. Well, even out in New York, you probably we understand there's media writing going on about the competition between the NFL, San Francisco 49ers defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw versus Sports Illustrated writer Grant Cohn in a confrontation that nobody's ever seen.
That shit to me was hilarious, man. I get stuff hit to me all the time when I get, something jumps off or whatever. The NFL and stuff like that. So, I get reminders all the time. When I seen it come up, and I was like, what the hell happened now? What Grant done did now? Yeah, it's fucking funny to me. I think it's going to be forgotten about in about a week or two. It's not that big.
You think it'll be that long?
Maybe less than that. Yeah, maybe about a week, a couple of days. It's going to be like, whatever happened, and that's it. I wouldn't put a whole bunch of value behind it. It's not that big of a freaking deal. Guys in the media and the NFL players in the media always going into some form of fashion of not liking each other, like what he said. I mean, Richard Sherman went through some shit with the media before when he said something. I mean, you could go down a list, man. Its list is long, bro. He's not the only one. But Grant Cohn, he's a young beat writer. He's pretty good at what he does.
He's established.
Sometimes I think
personality.
Right. I think the only thing I think he has to be careful of what he say is like, this as being in your business, like, and I know it from being in the entertainment business as well. You got to be careful the words you use.
Know who you're talking to.
Exactly.
Although if I'm Grant, I would have never expected the dude to come walking across the field because they're in two different places. But if I seen 6 foot whatever he is, and you know how big that dude is, if I see this dude coming back across the field to come see me, now I know I messed up.
He felt personal about it. Yeah, right. So he needed to change his tone. Not saying that he's a punk or nothing like that, but he had to be smart about how he would approach him to say something to him. So I think, like, sometimes Rhett, the one thing Rhett does that I don't like, which I think he should not do, he uses the word I a lot. And when you use the word I as in journalism, you're saying it as your
personal opinion. Yep.
Exactly. And as a news reporter, they're not asking your personal opinion. They want facts. As a reporter, that's what the reporting is about. They report the facts. You don't report your personal opinion because it's like an opinion. It's like
it'll reflect on you. Absolutely.
Right. So when he reports things, he says the word I. I don't think we should have did I don't think we might really ask you what you thought about it. You're supposed to be reporting for the 49ers, not for yourself. That's the problem I have with him. Kinlaw reacted in a fashion that was deemed professional, which I get that. But people got to remember he reacted that way because Grant made it personal by saying the word I. That's the thing you don't pay attention to. I don't think anybody paid attention to it. So by him reporting,
until you pointed that out, I didn't really take that into consideration. That's true.
Exactly. So
you made that your personal opinion. Yeah. Exactly.
That's meaning you're saying your personal opinion. So when I've been in chat rooms and Twitter and stuff like that, I'm trying to explain it to people that, the content of using, I do this, I create content on the internet as far as, designing websites. And when I text in content, I have to be careful how I word things for people that are websites for. So, when you use that kind of content in, I'm going to get too long-winded. I don't want to show leash. The word "I" is a very dangerous word to use in as a journalist. It is. Any long-time journalists that you've seen on TV, from Walter Cronkite to the best of the best, you never rarely heard it. If you watch the interview from Johnny Carson to Jay Leno. They pick and choose their words very carefully. And this is why those guys last so long. And in this day and age of social media, it's different. Right, the void controversy, exactly. So when you look at the way media is different now because you have so many different platforms to approach and say things about on different situations such as this. It'll blow. They're going to talk to Grant, and they're going to talk to him. They squash it, and you move on. And that's how it's going to end. You know, that's just how it is. Because they're not gonna find Kinlaw. They're not gonna kick him to the curb. He's a bigger picture than Grant Cohn. That's how the guys look at it. Like, dude.
And Grant would need to press charges for the hat being popped off his head. If that happened,
it's not gonna happen.
Javon said he didn't do it. So now it becomes my word against
him. It's funny as hell, the big thing, though.
I'm telling you, the whole thing is hilarious. Well, and now I'm just asking, okay, if we're going to pick a right, who's wrong here? And is there some adjustments that somebody needs to make? What do they need to do to improve the situation? We don't have time for this after the season starts, Ice. So I'm saying, and
I agree with you. You know what's going to happen? The organization is gonna approach him, and they're gonna approach him, and they're gonna sweep it under the rug as quickly as possible, because they got more bigger fish to fry than this nonsense. Because that's what it is.
Heading into the season,
and as him as a rookie, I'm pretty sure. I'm just guessing. Like, I'm speaking on my opinion. That's why I say I. I'm guessing. And I don't know what's gonna happen behind closed doors. Nobody does. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the Niners organization as a whole, upper management such as John Lynch, and they have people in there, they have PR people in the department that handle situations like this. It's not always directly John Lynch's job, because he wears a lot of hats. They're going to have somebody speak to Kinlaw, and they probably have the players on the team probably might say something too. So we don't know.
Oh yeah, I know that for sure.
Right, and be like, yo, dude, you're a bigger piece of this puzzle than to go through this bullshit with this ass clown. That's how they look at it, because there's a lot of players that don't deal with him. So he has created that reputation for himself.
There you go.
So if you're in the long run, Grant needs to curb his shit, because he won't be able to get an interview for 80 players in the team. He's got to eat too.
Ice, that's automatically up. Ice, we got to go though, fam. Let me see you Friday if you got some time.
I'm going to try to, man. I've been mad busy. I miss talking to you, man. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Check out my website, man. I just finished it up. It's called Black Sand Entertainment.
Wait, what? Black Sand? Yeah. Black Sand Entertainment?
Black sand, like black sand. The beach and the sand on the beach is black, though. Black Sand Entertainment.
I like it.
We do skateboard events. We're doing BMX events, skiing and stuff like that. We're promoting.
All right.
Oh yeah, so we have a big one come up, and we got one.
Is that blacksand.com?
Blacksand.entertainment.com. We have a big skateboard event coming up Labor Day weekend. It's a 2-day event. It's gonna be in Miami, July 11th. Yeah, it's gonna be dope. We're gonna be rappers there, athletes, you name it, we'll all be there. So, but I will get to you. I'll be talking to you for the rest of the summer, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
I can't for our boys to roll out. Like I said before I hang up, man, Trey Lance is going to be a dog. Be ready for it.
We need for him to be, too. All right, fam.
One stat I want you to check before I go. Michael Vick played 2 games his rookie season, and then played the game was started, just like Trey Lance.
All right.
Think about it. Think about it.
Looking forward. I ain't going to be jumping up and down. Love you back, fam.
Yes, sir.
Have a great night, Ice. Talk to you shortly.
You too, man.
All right.
Later.
Yeah. Hey, yo, Eric.
What's up, Ronbo?
Eric, as you know, we're going through this matter that this is new. I've never seen anything escalate like this with the 49ers. I'm sure it may have happened before, but this is special. I was thinking, man, wow, what do you do about this? How do you administer to it? We don't need this again. Is there something that Javon Kinlaw could do differently? Is there something Grant should be doing differently? Should everybody be left alone, slap each hand and say, all right, boys, go to your opposite sides of the room and stop it? What is this? What do you think about it?
Well, I think Grant, I think he forgets that he is a journalist. I think when he's on YouTube, he considers himself a content creator. He considers himself an entertainment. And when he steps into the building, into the 49ers building, they hear all of that on YouTube. So when you're trying to act professional and those guys they know what you're talking about and saying behind your back, they take offense to that because they know deep down what you feel about them. So I think Grant, if he's going to take a different step, is stop talking about them in a disrespectful criticism. Be more professional in your criticism. I don't know why you're saying Javon Kinlaw has an 80-year-old knee. Just keep it professional, what he actually has. It doesn't have to go that far. As for Kinlaw, honestly, I think Kinlaw should not be going that far. I think there's only a couple players that these are the two players I think if they should talk shit to Grant Cohn, I think it's completely justified, and that's Eric Armstead and George Kittle.
And they have.
Grant Cohn, Grant Cohn has literally started like a 3-week thing about trading George Kittle. So
he was serious.
That alone, that was all started by Grant Cohn. Obviously, he's been very critical of Eric Armstead. But to me, the criticism isn't justified for Javon Kinlaw yet. He has the chance to prove everybody wrong, but I don't think that Kinlaw has the right to stand up there and talk his talk, but he hasn't done anything yet. You need to prove yourself first. And I think that's what needs to happen, go out there and put this aside. Don't let Grant get under your skin. And honestly, it was kind of bothering me how he was telling Grant that, he has a family and things like that, but you're threatening Grant as if you were going to hurt him in real life, like, face to face. The minute you do that, you lose the opportunity to raise your family. You're going to jail. The minute. And that was the thing that Grant said. If Kinlaw was going to put hands on him, Grant literally said, "I'm going to be a millionaire."
I know. It's printed out. It's on Twitter.
Yeah, and to me, that saying right there, I think that alone that's the instant reaction, because Grant knows if in a physical altercation, he's never going to be able to win the fight. So his brain immediately goes to, how the hell am I going to win this? How the hell can I hurt Kinlaw after he hurt me? That's his immediate reaction to Kinlaw doing what he did. These two people both have a lot to lose. I heard a caller, I believe it was Tony. Grant did not lose his job at Sports Illustrated or anything. No, he's moving. That's why his background looks all white. He's moving. He's like, I believe he's in escrow. So there's that. And Kinlaw, if the minute he puts hands on Grant, he's gonna lose everything. And Grant, if Grant puts hands on Kinlaw, he's gonna lose the fight and probably lose everything else either. So,
it'd be funny. If Grant did grab Kinlaw and Kinlaw goes down the ground like he's hurt, there's no, that'd be hilarious. Now the tables been turned and they're sitting in courtroom. This is Grant Cohn versus Javon Kinlaw. Mr. Cohn, the report says here that you grabbed Mr. Kinlaw by the throat and threw him to the ground. He went unconscious. Do you have anything to say? He's faking. That's the only thing Grant could say. That would be hilarious.
If you want to get Grant out of the building, I think that's the way you're going to have to do it. But I think both of these players are at fault. But I have to say something about what Big Show was saying earlier. First off, I don't think if Trey Lance is the backup and Jimmy Garoppolo starting, that does not mean Trey Lance is a bust. That means that the 49ers organization and their front office has fucked up. That's what that means. There is no reason Jimmy Garoppolo should be starting week 1. He should have already been off this roster. Trey Lance, by preseason, by week 1, will have more chemistry with the guys out there already. He'll have more starting reps. Jimmy Garoppolo will be coming off a shoulder injury, so the surgery on his throwing arm. So he's going to come back playing rusty in training camp, even if there is a camp battle.
And which is going to really make him hard to get rid of. This is the thing. Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm pretty sure, does not want to be in San Francisco any longer. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they go about doing that. They might have to just release because, man, I just hope he doesn't go to the Hawks and work out some deal, because they probably will let him start. But the Hawks don't have any. Wait a minute, what am I saying? They do have a couple of weapons. Jimmy Garoppolo will work Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Oh, man. Jimmy can't go to the Hawks. He's got to go somewhere in the East, because he knows too much about what the 49ers do, too. That's another problem. So,
Yeah, but I think you can't be scared of those type of things. So I mean, honestly, if you're gonna have this type of confidence that you had in Trey, you traded 3 first-round picks to get him. If Jimmy goes over there, have the confidence in Trey to beat the Seahawks. Who cares if they had Jimmy Garoppolo?
Because no matter who they got, we still got to deal with
Jimmy
it.
Garoppolo. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo is not Russell Wilson. He's not going to be running around like that. Our D-line should beat the Seahawks offensive line. We should be able to, if Jimmy went there to, put pressure on Jimmy, I don't think Jimmy's going to press the ball down the field like Wilson did.
I'm actually more concerned with what Jimmy's going to tell them about our offense than anything, That's what I'm concerned. Too much intel.
Yeah, but at the same time, our offense should be a little different because Trey Lance is starting. He is a completely different quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. So the offense should look different. I don't know if Jimmy knows what the Trey offense looks like because there is two types of offenses.
Yeah, and they're two different kind of quarterbacks too. So we're gonna find out. But the Jimmy situation is gonna last all the way to July, which is very strange. But anyway, we're gonna go. Let me see if Friday, if you got some time.
All right, Ronbo. I'll catch you later.
Night, Eric.
Night.
And let's see what else we got here. Okay. Hey, Shabazz.
Ronbo.
Shabazz, it's we went back to high school yesterday, and we're looking at a situation here which most of us don't want to see again. It was amusing for a few minutes, but Javon, I understand people like him. They've had a hard life. They ain't got no time for nobody to be what they perceive as being disrespectful. Grant, on the other hand, has to understand, please, Grant, be Grant, but learn to be Grant with the right folks. That's the only thing I can say, But what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking that Kinlaw is a young man. I understand he's a kid. He didn't grow up. He don't remember the 80s. When we ruled in the 80s, the 49ers ruled. There was a song by Eurythmics called Sweet Dreams. Now, I'm a big guy, Ronbo.
Yeah.
I'm about 6'3", 320 pounds.
There you go.
Now, the song Sweet Dreams by Eurythmics taught me something. Some of them wants to use you. Some of them want to be used by you. Some of them wants to abuse you, and some of them wants to be abused. Grant wanted all that attention that he got. Like you said,
a lot of people are saying that.
Yeah, he
went
wanted
viral.
that. Now, I'm smart enough because I deal with people all the time in a line of work that I do that try to push my buttons to provoke me to put my hands on them. And then I realized maybe in some type of sick way, you'll enjoy me being angry towards you and maybe pushing you or touching you. So I wouldn't go there. But again, there's a difference between myself and Javon Kinlaw. Javon Kinlaw's a young man, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't know the Eurythmic song Sweet Dreams. But when I see someone like Grant Cohn, that video pops up in my head. He just wants to be abused. Now, look, there's people like that in the real world that garner that type of attention to themselves. And that's okay. We all know Grant is who he is. But, again, Kinlaw has to be a little bit more smarter. And like he said, you don't throw the way you feed your family away by retaliating with an act of violence or, just being angry at them and touching them. I mean, he said some pretty harsh things to Grant. That was entertaining to all of us. And he said what everybody wanted.
There was nothing fake. The man was mad as hell. Javon was scary to look at that anger. Ooh, he was mad.
Yeah, he was mad, and it was entertaining, but it ain't. And then I think about everything going on in the world, so everybody's a little bit more sensitive. In the height of all the horrific things that we deal with day in and day out, that's just in our culture, which we don't have to elaborate on. But, I mean, that's what it is. My heart goes out to everybody, both sides. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's a bad person. Oh, he needs to be more professional. It's easy for somebody to say that hasn't been put themselves in Javon Kinlaw's shoes or put yourself in my shoes. You want to get in someone's face and you want to antagonize somebody, and then when they retaliate in a manner that's not appropriate or a manner that you don't see deemed fit for you, then you want to be angry and say, well, he's not being a professional. He's not this. We're all human, and even if you're not a human, if you're an animal, You don't go to the zoo and antagonize a gorilla. You don't go antagonize a
mistake.
gorilla. You don't. Yeah, and then after the gorilla club you
my
upside
goodness,
the head, now
that could be really
now
bad.
you want to be upset and say the gorilla shouldn't have did that, or you don't go into the Pacific Ocean. When there's a great white swimming around and purposely cut your leg and dangle your leg in the ocean. You don't do that. I mean, you can, but you know what'll happen.
But boss, you're making the point I was making earlier. I said there are times when I really wish Grant would read the room. All right, Grant, Javon Kinlaw is probably the one he was talking to you last year when he left. I'm going to come back. I'm going to prove all y'all wrong. All right, Grant, don't continue to add to that anger because he's a kid who grew up in hard fashion, and he's probably, as I mentioned earlier, his esteem is not that high. So when you come in saying things like that, he takes it to heart and extremely personal. He doesn't worry about you being a writer. He just thinks you're taking shots at him. He got mad.
And I like the fact that, hey, Grant said he got what he had coming. Don't play the victim. Now, don't play the victim, and he didn't. And on an off note, I've been listening to the show. I'm down here in Missouri, so
you're in Missouri.
Tomorrow I'll get to
That's
see
right.
my
The son graduated.
He's graduating.
Oh, congratulations.
He's graduating Friday.
All right.
He's graduating Friday. But a caller about 3-4 callers ago, his assessment on Trey. Wow, you seen the guy play 2 games and he's a bust? That's so interesting. That's so interesting. And the fact that even if he were to, even if he was to hypothetically sit Aaron Rodgers said for what, 3 or 4 years? I mean, why is it that there's such a high expectation for someone that he ain't done nothing yet? Like, you ain't even giving him a chance. It's just interesting, I mean, it's like, I don't understand these fans. You don't want him to be successful. What did he do? It wasn't his fault that he got picked first overall, we traded third picks.
Every quarterbacks. I mean, it's rough coming in as a quarterback, and that's another thing in these conditions. When a kid gets picked, especially in the first round, even the second round, get ready for the pain. There you go, boy. Unless you make one mistake in the first round, well, it'll be all over you. All over you.
Right.
That's a first round pick.
And
ain't no first round bad damn bust. The word bust, especially with us. Javon Kinlaw's been accused of being a bust. Hey.
Right, and nobody called Matt Stafford a bust. And he was a first round pick, and he played on a sorry team for years.
That may have been why they didn't call him one. They blamed the team and the organization.
You never heard no one person say that about him. This kid will be very successful. I like how he handles himself as a professional. With all the weapons around him, you can go play quarterback. If Jimmy could do it, you could do it. I could do it. How hard is it to hand Debo the ball, hand Elijah Mitchell the ball, hit Kittle on a 5-yard route, and hit Ayuk on an 8-yard curl? I think all of us can do that. Right?
Well, then, I don't know. It's got to be well-timed, but yeah. Shabazz, we got to go to fam. Let me see you Friday, though.
We're out of time, but I'm gonna check in Friday for sure. But shout out to you, shout out production.
Thanks, fam.
But when Kinlaw and Lance are both successful, I got these mental receipts in my mind. I want everybody, like I said, man, apologize. When this kid, I'm going on, I'm hold me to my receipt if I'm wrong. When he wins 10+ games as a rookie, because he didn't start. When he wins 10 to 11 games, I want an apology. And then this is what they'll say. Well, the defense carried us. Kittle carried us. Elijah Mitchell had 160 yards.
That's
but when
what
Jimmy
we do.
was winning 12 games, it was Jimmy won those games. So I don't care how we win.
Jimmy ain't never won no game. Well, I ain't heard anybody say it, but somebody must have said it. Because Jimmy, every week, was just out there. Everybody else won the game. But when they lose, it's Jimmy's fault. Fam, we got to go to the boss. Let me see you Friday.
We definitely Ronbo, but I will check in Friday. But that's what the naysayers will say. Well, we was just that good anyway, and the team won. But just get them wins to him like they got given to Jimmy. All right, Ronbo, I'm gonna check in with you and bang bang, Niner gang.
All right, fam. Have a great night.
All right.
It's Shabazz out of Missouri. Hey, Rudy.
Ronbo.
Rudy.
How you doing?
Rudy, I'm a man who's watching comedy right now that's okay, it's acceptable comedy. But otherwise, what are you thinking here?
I want to know.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
No, when I speak of comedy, I mean the altercation between one of our popular beat writers versus our defensive tackle. It's something that I never would have imagined. So yeah, I'm doing all right.
What I want to know is this. So that was a horrible look for the Niners organization. I can't believe people are blaming Grant Cohn. I mean,
he's just doing his job, right?
He's doing his job. Now, does he go overboard sometimes? Saying he has an 80-year-old knee. Okay, but is he lying? I mean, is he lying about this player? This guy's not even a Pro Bowl. I saw the stream and I was just like smirking to myself. I go, man, here we go. More drama in Ninerville, right? This guy has 1.5 sacks. I know he's a run stopper. And I mean, I've never played in the NFL, and he has 1.5 sacks more than I do. I mean, to give you an idea,
you worked on that one, I can tell.
Well, I mean, it's ridiculous because I saw the stream, and he has a right to say what he wants. He has a right to be mad, but he said he's the one that has to say it. Why do you have to say it? You're not even a marginal player. You're not even a Pro Bowler. Why do you have to be the one to say it? And then he's saying the N-word and talking about the man parts, and then he knocked Grant Cohn's allegedly cap off of his head.
Yeah.
That's and who's the ones that are in charge? That's what I first thought. If the player's going to go off, the head coach and the management are not their dad, they're not their mom, but they are in charge. And this guy, it wasn't enough that he knocked the guy's hat off, that he thought it was okay to conduct himself this way. He represents the 49ers. And he did that on a live stream. I mean, why is not Kyle Shanahan
that's
leadership?
That's a good question. And what I wonder about is, how did they get – I didn't see the clip. I only saw Grant filming and saying what was said. But I'm trying to understand how there was nobody standing around when Javon was standing behind Grant Cohn. I mean, if I'm his teammate and I see where that's going – Hey, come on, big dog. Let's go. Let's roll back on over this way.
Yeah.
Why did they stop that altercation as fast as possible?
That's what I'm saying about the leadership. Like, where's everybody at? Like, he walked over to Grant, and like you said, and everybody knows that the media can't go where the players are. They stay off to the side. He walked over and basically assaulted Grant. He went behind him. If the report is right that he said, knocked his cap off, got behind him, tried to thug him out. And then wherever they were, he was doing some kind of rap about this and that,
he's
calling
rhyming
the cat word.
I
mean, and then he goes on the thing. But I want to know if that was Eddie DeBarlo, that guy's gone. If that was in the Rams camp, that guy's gone because he's a marginal player. You guys don't need him. You guys want him to be good, but he's not a guy. He's not a Bosa.
No, but Eddie D, Grant probably wouldn't be able to come back into the stadium. It's the kind of thing where I don't know the 49er owners are ever going to take up for an outsider. And immediately anybody else. What's going to happen, Javon Kinlaw gets called in. Listen, I expect yourself to conduct yourself like a San Francisco 49er. If a media writer or anybody else says anything to you, ignore it. Or if you got a problem with it, come talk to me about it, but don't take things into your own hands. There's you know how protocol goes when you're high school. This goes to every establishment I've ever been into. You don't take certain things into your own hands because it reflects badly on the organization, on the school, anything else, right? So that would have been the case on that. But Grant Cohn would have been given.
There's nothing wrong. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with confronting them. Hey, man, I don't appreciate you saying that, man. I'm out here.
But let it in
hard,
there.
Yeah, that's it. Because what do you get out of it? You make yourself look bad. You embarrass yourself. I mean, he's chewing. I don't know if you saw the video, but he's eating it. I don't know if Jimmy made him a sandwich right before he went on, and he's spitting out chunks of the sandwich. I mean, it was a bad look, Ronbo. I mean, I was cringing. I mean, I was laughing because, imagine, picture yourself that you're watching a Rams player do that. Wouldn't you be like, man, what's going on over there? We got him now, right? You would be thinking like that.
Thank you for that opening. I would have expected that as kind of normal.
No, that doesn't happen on McVay's watch, Ronbo. You know that. We don't have players like that.
You know what? Okay. The thing is, this is the first time this has happened. We, especially since the new regime's watch.
This year.
Yeah. Do you guys have a guy like Grant Cohn in LA?
Well, we do have SI reporters, but Ronbo, you know, I'm not trying to be that guy, but we just win. We don't have.
Oh, Rudy, our time's up anyway.
Wait, Ronbo, wait.
I gotta leave.
I'm
running overtime already. It's gonna
let me frame it this way.
4-hour show. I did not intend for that.
I know, it's God bless you.
Quick.
Let me frame it this way, because the injuries, Shanahan, you know, he's had some losing seasons, so he doesn't particularly like Grant Cohn. So here on our side, we've been very fortunate with McVay taking over for Fisher, that we just have winning seasons. So we haven't had that. But, you know, and that's just the way it is. I'm not even trying to beat our own horn. But God bless you. God bless Tony. And God bless my guy Ellis. You know, we got that Super Bowl hat right here for you. I'm still waiting for you right here.
All right.
And,
I'm leaving. I'm leaving now.
I appreciate it, Ronbo. God bless you. And may the Lakers be back next year, Ronbo.
No, they got a long way to go. They got a lot of work to do.
This is not over, Ronbo, because he, like they said, he tweeted again that it's not over. I just cut him. If John Lynch has any kind of leadership,
we're not cutting him, Rudy.
You have to cut him, Ronbo, because
Rudy,
he sat him in the office and they both talked to each other. And then he said, "I just did that for the organization." What would you do?
We're gonna cut him. Okay.
All right.
Rudy,
later, guys.
Next time. All right. Oh God. Are we done? Okay. Well, fam, there you go. We've gotten off our chest about the Javon Kinlaw and Grant Cohn caper. And let's go. We'll talk football when I see you Friday. Hey, subscribe and like, please. And thanks for the contribution tonight, guys. Really appreciate it as always. And have a great night. Whew, I love doing that.